Taylor joins me at the Mosteller start-finish line. Jeff, welcome.
Michael, good afternoon. The 2.5 stocks are out on the water for their heat number 5. We're 4 minutes and 15 seconds until the start. One driver change here in heat number 5. Les Dethridge will be aboard the S8 Crazy 8s. I got a tech report for you. Spoke to Kip Brown from KB Marine. The S1 Silver Cloud Inn, that rocker arm situation has been repaired. They should be in the mix, and they are, as they lead the field up in turn 2 in the warm-up period.
Thank goodness they were able to get back off the trailer and onto the river to get some points.
And I want to apologize to our listeners. This is our first crack today at 2.5 stock. I did not meet Kyle Davenport before the weekend's race. I thought he was a young pilot. He's a young 52-year-old, and his dad, Larry Davenport, was the chief diver here at the Tri-Cities from 1966 to 1979. Larry Davenport, great work back in the day. Thank you.
Part of the rescue team, 13 years. That's pretty amazing. So, milling period underway. It's the park and start, so we expect everybody to kind of gather around that Griggs backstretch, and we'll start to decipher who's going to be in lane number 1. Now, if you were to look right now, you'd see that the black and gray boat with Jeff Bernard, the 1, is in lane number 1 right now, but you've got Davenport up ahead in the bright red boat, the orange and black boat, the 77 with Jason Oslakson also on the backstretch over there. It looks like Oslakson's on the inside, so it depends where we all get when they all get back together.
You notice Bernard, he was the first out, and that's usually a key to get good lane positioning in the park and start format. But right now, Michael, Jason Oslakson is creeping up there. Looks like he would like lane number 1. Oslakson has run well this weekend, had that one blemish yesterday. You can't count him out. Of course, Bernard, the definite favorite on paper. There's Davenport. He's slowed. Now he picks it back up. Now the first one up there, I believe that's Justin Burnett in the 225.
Guys, can I interrupt for a minute? Les Dethridge has returned to the dock in the Crazy 8s.
Thank you, Brad.
Yep.
That's unfortunate.
So we've got Burnett up there, Michael, followed by Oslakson. Now Bernard goes around Oslakson. We got Gunnar O'Farrell in the mix in that fluorescent yellow craft. And Davenport, and I believe that is Burnett on the back chute. Looks like we'll have 6 make the call here in heat 5.
Still 1 minute and 39 seconds till the start of heat number 5 for the International Brotherhood of Electrical Workers and the National Electrical Contractors Association. So that's the 44 with John Gibney, the yellow and white boat right in front of us now.
And John right now, you can tell, running off song, so maybe Brad Luce will keep his eye on the yellow and white craft. I believe John might go ahead back in the pit area and pick up an unfortunate did not start here in heat number 5 for the 2.5 stocks. We're 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Mark, Michael, the 1 minute period is in session. They're parking and starting them up in turn 2. How's it look through the binoculars?
Oslakson in 1, Bernard in 2, and then you've got lane number 3, the bright yellow boat. Almost looks green with Gunnar O'Farrell, the 12. So there's your 1, 2, 3. I don't know where Davenport's going to fit into this. He's trailing behind the 3 boats that are nearing the exit pin of turn number 2.
And Gibney will go back to the pit area.
So unfortunately for the 44, it's been kind of a long weekend. They've had gremlins all weekend long in the yellow and white 44 heading back to the Lamson pits.
20 seconds until the start. Michael McDonald, bring him to the green flag for 2.5 liter.
Well, now you've got Bernard on the inside, and Oslakson went to the outside into lane number 3. That's a fascinating move, because Oslakson, it looked like, had lane number 1. He may have some sort of a problem. Bernard's going to be in 1. Then in lane number 2, you've got O'Farrell. It's speed in lane number 3, though. That's Kyle Davenport in the bright red 6. On the outside in the orange and white, that's the 225 with Jetson Burnett. And not a good start for Oslakson at all. It is a legal start.
Start was legal, and Michael McDonald, Kyle Davenport made a Bill Muncie start. flying up in lane number 4. He is your leader. Jeff Bernard in second. In the Silver Cloud ends, Davenport driving beautifully here at the Columbia Cup. Davenport, but Michael, here comes Bernard up in second.
Bernard's got the short course on the inside, and he's starting to reel Davenport in on the Griggs backstretch just a little bit. Falling back in the 12 is Gunnar O'Farrell. And then in 4th place, Oslakson, who had some sort of a problem and shot to the outside during that last part of the park and start. Boy, it's deck-to-deck racing. Davenport on the outside, Bernard on the inside. That race for 3rd place starting to heat up now as Oslakson is gaining on O'Farrell. At the exit pit of turn number 2, on the inside, Bernard. Davenport on the outside. Bernard's going to lead as they come across start-finish, but watch that speed on the outside. Davenport's trying to pick back up on Bernard just a little bit. And we have lost a bow. Nope, there they are. I see Oslakson on the inside of O'Farrell. So O'Farrell's going to be in 3rd, Oslakson in 4th.
Back in turn number 1, Bernard hit a roller, recovered nicely. Bernard, your leader, and now Davenport dropping back about 10 boat lengths in 2nd. Michael, you've got a good view of the 3rd place battle. Oslakson in 3rd, but O'Farrell not giving up in 4th.
That is a close race. Turn number 1 onto the Griggs backstretch. I don't know. I don't think Davenport's going to have enough to reel back in Jeff Bernard, and Bernard's got the inside lane. Yeah, that race for 3rd place, Oslakson leading O'Farrell coming up the Griggs backstretch by about a half a rooster tail, and Oslakson will be on the inside. He'll have that short track around to the front stretch. Back to the race leader, it's Bernard to the exit pin of turn number 2 onto the front stretch. Completing lap number 2, and it's almost a 2 rooster tail lead now for Jeff Bernard, picking up right where he left off before they had some problems and had it on the trailer. Oslakson in 3rd. Can he gain on Davenport?
We'll see what Oslakson does, Michael, on Davenport, but the time is running out as we're working the final lap. Jeff Bernard in front. He owns the boat with the co-owner, his wife, Christabel. Sponsor, Justin and Stephanie Weymouth. Silver Cloud Inn, the name of the boat. Bernard in front, followed by Davenport, and Michael Oslakson giving one more crack to try to move into 2nd.
Davenport's pulling a little bit further ahead coming up the Griggs backstretch. Race leader is Jeff Bernard in the Silver Cloud S1. 2nd place, Davenport, about 2 rooster tails back, then 2 rooster tails back to Oslakson. Oslakson, that is. That's a mouthful. It does not roll off the tongue. O'Farrell's in 4th place right now in the 12. Monkey business. Exit pin onto the front stretch. Jeff Bernard in the S1, ready to take the checkered flag in heat number 5. Checkered flag is out. It turned out to be a pretty good race for 2nd place. Oslakson, though, will settle for 3rd. Davenport in 2nd. 4th place finish for Gunnar O'Farrell in the 12. Across start finish now. And the orange and white boat on the Griggs backstretch now, Jetson Burnett, the 225, dives into turn number 2. Come around for a 5th place finish.
And Michael, Kyle Davenport, a wonderful start, but well away from the buoys come final heat time. If he can make that kind of a start in lane number 1, he could be a tough customer to handle. Right now, the competition, they'll have to keep their eye on Jeff Bernard. A veteran racer just knows how to get lane number 1 in the park and start format. So interesting heat 5. The good news for S1, Silver Cloud Inn, they're back in the mix after the rocker arm issue with that engine yesterday, and they look well prepared, looking forward to the final.
I thought it was interesting because it surely seemed that Jason Oslakson in the 77 had the inside lane when they were at the park and start at the apex of turn number 2. Yet somewhere between there and the exit pin, he went to the outside and relinquished lane number 1, gave it up, to Bernard.
I was surprised at that too, and Bernard's going to capitalize on errors like that, and Jason Oslachson will learn come final heat time. I better not do that again because the crafty veteran will slide inside me.
But giving up the lane position leads you to believe that there may have been some sort of an issue, that he wasn't quite sure and didn't want to have that position on the course. I don't know. You know, that's only something we can find out with our pit reporters, thanks to American Radiator back in the Neil F. Lamson pits, to find out why that move was made before the start of heat number 5.
And the 2.5 stock championship here at the Columbia Cup will be at 3:30 Pacific time. The Grand Prix America Thunder Cup at 4 o'clock, and Michael McDonald, the big one, the Columbia Cup for H1 Unlimited, coming up at 4:30. You've got the best seat in the house. I can't wait for that H1 Unlimited final, but I'm really looking forward to these finals in 2.5 stock and GPA. And GPA, we got a National High Point Championship chase on the line. Jeff Bernard leads Greg Hopp by 10 points.
That'll be a fun one. A lot on the line coming up this afternoon. And with San Diego off the table, a lot on the line for the H1 pilots, too.
Exactly, correct. And, of course, you want to come out of the Columbia Cup in fine fashion, because next weekend, quoting my friend Brad Luce at Lake Washington in Seattle, it's the oldest active motorsports trophy in the world up for grabs next weekend, the APBA Gold Cup.
Do also want to mention Sandy's Trophies. Fantastic job with the trophy presentation here for our Columbia Cup racers. Sandy's Trophy's been a part of our community, and for whatever it is, some type of honor, award, memento, they've got it for you at Sandy's Trophies. Good people, good part of our community. So we head down to the Lamson pits. I know that the 2.5 stocks are headed back there. Again, Jeff Bernard taking the checkered flag, but the real question, Jason Oslachson had the inside position in the park and start, then went out to lane number 3.
Yeah, we've got Jeff right now. Good ride.
Yeah, we had a little problem yesterday. We broke a rocker in that first heat and didn't get it done in time for the second heat, and probably should have been running this prop all weekend long. It was good. The RPMs were good, so look forward to the final. Thanks to my team and Kip Brown for coming down and helping us get the rocker back together. The S12 guys for loaning us some parts to get us back on the water today. Thank our sponsors, Silver Cloud Inns Hotel, JJW Racing, Scott Baker Propellers, Blockhead Machine, and Daryl and Vanessa Strong for everything they do for me.
Your team, and that was the first thing you credited, not yourself, which is cool. But there's so much work to get out there. And what you're telling us behind the scene, there's a lot of hours that went into this.
Oh, yeah, we work. We tried to bring the best equipment we have here. I got a little greedy on a propeller yesterday, running just too high RPMs and broke the rocker. And driving the GP and stuff, I got to rely on Justin and Kip to help me out with the 2.5. And we didn't even have. We left our spare motor at home this weekend because we brought the motor home and didn't have any room, so had to go down to the S12 team to get some parts, and they helped us out. So hopefully we can do it again in the final.
All right, congratulations.
Thank you.
That's amazing sportsmanship as the S12 team helps provide their competitor, the race winner,
yeah, I wanted to mention
a little bit of help.
I wanted to mention with the Crazy 8, the reason that they came out, as soon as he went out, hit the gas, it started to fishtail, and he just had no control of the boat and immediately headed back and shut it down.
Some sort of rudder issue, you think?
May have been.
Thank you, Craig. American Radiator pit reporter down in the Neil F. Lamson pits, and our tech reports thanks to All City Transmission.
And that's a wonderful tech report. If that was the case, the right decision was made. Take it back in.
No kidding. You don't want to be going at those speeds and not have control over your boat.
Hey, guys, if I can jump in here real quick. I've got Jason Oslachson here, and young man, there was some question before the start. I can't see it real well from down here. Well, A, because I'm down here, and B, because I'm old. But I couldn't see it real well, but they were talking that it appeared you had an inside lane, but as you came around and made the run toward the line, you'd moved outside. Did something happen? Was that a conscious decision? What went on up there?
Oh, no, Jeff had he had came up and leapfrogged me, 100% legal, of course. But then, so I stayed behind him, and Gunner came up because Jeff and I were both in lane 1. I was behind Jeff. Gunner took 2. I wasn't going to move him over, Gunner over, because I didn't want to get a penalty. But then we were coming close to the next buoy, and Jeff just veered out a little bit. So then I came back into 1 and tried to scoot up a little, just seeing if he'd be nice and let me into 1. That was a pipe dream.
Yeah, that didn't happen.
But no, there's no penalty, any call to be made, you know. I want to win it out there anyway, so I should have been up there faster, better communication with my radio guy for sure. But the boat's fast. I caught him. You know, they didn't gate anything. I was on him. Another lap, I know would have caught Kyle for sure. So we thrashed on the boat this morning with Scott Myers here, and did a lot of work to it. So now we just got to make up our mind what prop we want to race in the final and go out and win it.
That's the good news. That wasn't the final. You still got that one to do, so you're in good shape.
And the thing about this weekend, we've gained at least 1 or 2 miles an hour every heat. That was the fastest we've been. A prop change will make us faster. So.
Mike and Kurt with you, along with Patty Banner at the start-finish line. We are broadcasting from the Crow's Nest. It's our luxury suite, thanks to Clover Island Inn at the Mosteller Memorial start-finish line.
It's just some kind of beautiful boat race Sunday afternoon.
Isn't it?
Got another flight coming out of the PSC. You know, I can't remember this much air traffic, so I think we're starting to, you said earlier today, American Airlines coming in to
February.
Pasco. February next year. Okay.
February straight to Phoenix.
I just say the more flights, the merrier. The more options, the better. You know,
Looks like a United right there.
great hub, the PSC.
Well, as far as regional airports go, most are losing flights. We're gaining them.
Now, you know what? Did I not hear you and Frank on a morning broadcast?
Tri-Cities Morning News from 6 to 9 on 610 KONA.
And I believe Pasco is leading the pack as far as growth goes, right? Is that population
in the state?
Yeah.
Yeah.
So
Incredible.
with that comes, with the peeps, are they ever going to be able to make
I
it
guess
international with the longest? Don't they have to buy some land, or somebody's owned some land and they're not willing to give it up or something like that?
For what?
For to make Pasco an international airport.
You've got to fly to a destination outside the country.
Okay, I just thought it.
That makes you international.
I thought it had to deal with.
Well, the runway's plenty long.
Length of the runway.
Yeah, we've had the president in the 747, right?
Was that
When Al Gore flew here?
Was that W there?
No, it was Al Gore.
Al Gore there. Okay. Sorry.
Yeah.
Just having fun.
Who was vice president, just to clarify.
Right.
Was not president.
Right. I do remember when didn't W come here at the time when we were talking about the dams and stuff? Long time ago.
Well, I guess my only question about Pasco growth would be Amazon hasn't delivered. They've got 2 giant warehouses out there, and there's nothing going on.
Jeff has been working out, and
Bezos.
Bezos is working out, and eventually, I think you have the infrastructure; it's ready. So it would be a shame. I mean, I know it's nothing to a guy like that, but since you do have the buildings built already, let's get on with the program already. So.
Let's see if there's anything going on with our legends of the sport down in the Lamson pits with our American Radiator pit reporters, Brad Luce.
Yeah, we have 2, I'm assuming 3 vintage boats are going to run. I'm being nodded yes. 2 of those boats are in the water. The Notre Dame is in the water. The 1957 Miss Wahoo is in the water. And as I say that, coming off the trailer right now is the 1958 Miss Bardol. So we'll have 3 boats. Then this just sounds good to say. We're talking about draws for heat 3A and 3B and all this good stuff. But it's nice to say in our next heat we'll have the Bardol, the Notre Dame, and the Wahoo. That just sounds like fun back in the late 50s.
Which Bardol?
The 58.
Nice.
The 1958, the original Green Dragon.
Green Dragon.
Yeah. When they came with the 62 version, which is going to sit, I think, on the trailer and sit this one out, it was the same green again. It was a little different shade, but it had the green decking, the green cowling, but the tail was yellow. It was a stepped tail, and it was yellow. But this one, everything's green except the side of the boat and the non-trips. Everything else was that metallic green. And it looks like David Williams is going to step aboard that one and jump in the cockpit, the boat just now.
Well, he's done well with his book about Bill Boeing.
Yes, absolutely. He's a very talented guy. He does all this work with the museum and the boats, and he's the curator and all that, executive director of the museum, and obviously he is an author with a number of books that he has published under his name, and he's also quite the chef. He's quite the chef. You can come over to your house and cook up some good food. In fact, he actually thought that's what he was going to be when he was going to grow up. Maybe he still is when he grows up. I mean, none of us
hasn't grown up yet.
Nah, it hasn't happened yet. So he always thought he would be a culinary individual, and he actually started to school in that regard. But then his boat racing thing happened, and as he climbs aboard, the 1958 National High Points champion, the Miss Bardol.
So, like in the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame, which isn't so much rock and roll for everybody anymore, that your first album comes out, and then 25 years later, you're eligible to go in as far as the museum is concerned, how old does a boat have to be to qualify for that criteria, or is it a lot looser than that?
You know, I don't know the answer to that question, but I'm standing right next to somebody who does. How old, Mr. Steve Compton, does a boat have to be, or how many years until you can bring it back out and in the APBA rule book be it part of the vintage class?
It is 25 years.
You are so smart, Michael McDonald. You win absolutely nothing except the trip to the bonus round. That's all I got for you on that one. Thank you, Mr. Compton. How about that?
Man, you are Johnny on the spot. Appreciate
I tell
it.
you, I got sources.
You do.
I got sources. I keep them around. They make me look good.
Your timing's not bad either.
Yeah.
And Brad, please give those points to Kurt Carty.
Oh, I'm sorry.
Yeah.
Kurt, you won a trip to the bonus round with absolutely nothing else.
Well, I appreciate it. Me and Mike.
Congratulations.
Folks have said that we do sound alike, so I'm like, well,
bing, 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 bing.
that's
We
a
have a
big-time
winner.
compliment. Appreciate it.
There you
So,
go.
25 years, all right. So, do some of those Budweiser hulls, we're coming up on that. So 25 years is 1998. So, gosh.
Yeah. You
some of
guys
those
are the
things.
smart ones. You can do that kind of math.
Well, it's a turn of the century thing.
Yeah. And by the way, let me just throw something out here on the air, and then we can come back to this discussion. Steve Compton, you don't win anything for the answer, but thanks.
Oh, you're so welcome, Brad. I can't tell you how much it means
Wow.
to me.
Well, he should know. He's got the 1955 Miss Thriftway sitting in his shop.
55.
Oh, boy.
You know-
A boat that when you go in there and look at it in the shop, it's absolutely gorgeous. It's very similar to this Miss Wahoo, and he's standing right here beside me, and Steve and I are more than good friends. And I've been describing the Wahoo as a piano because it really is gorgeous. Well, so is that one of yours. And I was telling the story, you were hand-picking this African mahogany. Is there truth to that story?
You mean on the Wahoo? Oh, yeah. Mike Hansen and I worked on that because the deck originally was a mismatch of all kinds of pieces of plywood. But when we were doing the replica for the museum, we wanted to make sure that this thing was going to be a showpiece. And with the quality craftsmanship that Mr. Mike Hansen puts together, we wanted to make sure that it was top-notch. And boy, we're very proud of what the end result is with the Miss Wahoo.
And you should be proud of it, but that boat of yours, that Thriftway, it's not bad either. It's not bad, young man.
We're very, very proud of her. Thank you very much, Brad.
When are we going to see it? I want to see it run. And that's a really bad question for me to ask Steve, because there's nobody that wants to bring that boat out more than you. But you're not the only one that owns it. That's a group of people, and there's a long, long story in there. But someday we're going to have that two-time Gold Cup champion out here on the water.
You mean I can't put a plug in for a partner for this thing?
No, I think you just
please
did.
do.
No, Mike said please do. So throw it out here.
Okay, well, I have two partners in the boat who have decided that they've had enough fun with it, and I'm looking for a person to either, one, buy the boat and all the equipment that we have, which, by the way, is we have 2 engines and 2 gearboxes, or I will partner with somebody on a 50-50 deal to get them started. And I'd love to bring that thing out here and run it on the Tri-Cities since I'm now a resident.
And the reason I really want him to get it out and run it, he said the next time he put it on the water where I was, you promised me a ride. You haven't forgotten that, have you?
I have not forgotten that.
Don't. I'm never going to let you forget it. All right, I think we're about ready to get a little bit loud and proud down here. They've tipped the nose on the 1958 Bardol. Steve, who's got the official radio bug in his ear, says there is a green flag on the course.
It's the Clover Island Inn Vintage Final in our coverage on 610 KONA, thanks to Legends Casino.
So I will end Mr. Compton's story there. If somebody is interested in that, you get a hold of Steve Compton. All right. I think the first boat we're going to get out here, if it'll start on time, and of course this is part of the vintage thing, you never know, it is the Wahoo. The 77 comes to life first. And Steve, I think you know who's driving the Wahoo. I didn't look.
That's Jer Heiser.
Okay. Here comes Kip Brown in the Notre Dame, gives thumbs up to his crew back on the dock. He is away. David Williams had some issues trying to start this old 58 Green Dragon. as they called it. He had some issues with that yesterday. We'll see what he can do. And Craig, you and I are standing here, you, me, and Steve Compton, but see the big holes in the sponsons there? That's full of water, and that's these are what they called wetted sponsons back in the day. You look up the side of today's boat, you won't see that. A lot of aerodynamics have been changed. Well, the aerodynamics don't change, but the way the boat builders and designers address.
All for their performance.
Absolutely, the way they address those aerodynamics and the properties and all that good stuff.
Well, it's amazing how they can get a 2.5 liter and the speed they get out of it. It's amazing what they've done.
And Michael and you guys up around the course here might remember back in the day, and it was, I'm not going back that far, but maybe back 25, maybe start to push 30 years, we used to have a number of accidents with our turbine-powered hydroplanes, and they will remember back to the time when the boats would be going at their slowest point on the race course, and the outside sponson would pick up in the corner. The outside sponson would pick up in the corner and lift the boat over and cause an accident. I remember one time Scott Pearson and Mr. Pringles went on his nose up at the west end of this particular race course, and you're looking at it going, it was so gentle. And you're looking at it and you're going, how did that happen going that slow when the guy can come ripping down the front straightaway? Well, somebody realized, you know, maybe we ought to go back and look at this Bernoulli principle thing, that why airplanes fly and so forth. And if you look at every one of the current day race boats today, on the front pickle fork on the right-hand side of the boat, which would be the outside of the boat, there is an air dam in there, or sometimes referred to as a splash rail. And all that does is disrupt the airflow coming over the top of the deck when it is presented sideways in the corner, and suddenly it doesn't fly so well when you interrupt the smooth airflow. It was a simple fix, but it took a while to get there.
Speaking of it's not going to fly, Orville, Miss Bardall is, they're getting the crane. I don't think it's going to run today.
Nope, it's not. Dave just kind of gave his palms up like, I don't know. David Williams, he couldn't make it go. He had issues, as I said yesterday. So what you've got up at the west end, you guys, on start-finish, that's what you're going to get. The Wahoo and the Notre Dame.
Wahoo on the inside, Notre Dame on the outside. The 77 and the 7 coming down the front stretch. It's one of those photo opportunities that you only get once a year. And it's kind of interesting the way that they cycle through the different boats so that we can, you know, see different parts of history, different pieces of history at each different race here in Tri-Cities, Brad.
It is, and as we were talking, there's such a rich history here in the Tri-Cities, and it now goes back far enough. And, you know, 57 years we've been doing this. What we're looking at right here on the water, this was what it was back in the middle 60s when we got started here in the Tri-Cities in 1966. You had round-nose, shovel-nose boats and a lot of rumbling on the water. Good-looking shot there with these two. The Wahoo from 1957, the Notre Dame from 1962. Jerry Heiser doing a nice job with that Wahoo. Of course, as we spoke, the boat was driven by Miroslavak back in the day, who commandeered a jet and flew to freedom and all that good kind of stuff, and ended up the private pilot for Bill Boeing. And Bill Boeing got the hydro bug in Seattle, as darn near everybody did in the 1950s after the Gold Cup came to Seattle in '51, and he wanted to build a hydroplane, and he named it after the hometown of his wife, that being Wahoo, Nebraska.
Excellent. My question to you is, I love the shot as they're coming around the corner. Since the slate is already put together for Seafair next weekend, what happens to these vintage boats since there's no other stops on the 2023 tour? Do they go back to the museum? Do they maybe get a quick workover? Do they get mothballed until the next vintage racing season? What's the life for this? You know, they go through all of these runs and giving people rides, etc. So after this weekend, what happens to the boats?
Well, the answer to your question is yes, to everything you said. And each one of these boats has individual crew members, and each one of these boats has a crew chief, and it's their responsibility. They work for and with the museum.
Cool.
And yes, and it's their responsibility to, when the boat comes back and it's done for the year, they've got to drain all the fluid, all the oil, everything out of the motors. If it needs to be tore down and rebuilt, they'll do that in the off season. If not, they'll winterize the boat, and there's all types of things they do, and that's with the motor. Then they start working on the hull, because even though they maybe don't run that much, they still things happen, and these boats are all inside. You asked about, do they go on display at the museum? Yes. There's kind of a rotation down there because they don't have enough room for all of them, because they've done such a good job with so many boats. So it is a year-round job for these crews, and I'm down here with Craig. And Craig, you look up and down the dock. You've got a group of 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 guys with Wahoo shirts on. Look at the Green Dragon shirts here. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 on their crew, and I don't have enough fingers to count the Notre Dame shirts that are down here, but that's what they will do. They don't stop when they go home on Monday.
But there is the disappointment when they don't run.
Absolutely. And David, if we were to talk to him, he would be very disappointed. He does such a good job, but those of us that come to the Waterfallies each year are going to remember all of the great shows he's put on, and he'll tell you he feels bad, but he will make sure he brings back a bigger and better show next year.
I'm really happy to hear that they take their superior preservation seriously.
Another lap around for the Notre Dame.
Wait just a minute here. All right, Glenn, you just walked by. I'm talking about crew members and all that you guys do on the boat. First of all, why didn't it run? How come the Green Dragon's coming back on the trailer?
Well, it has no spark at the moment, and we're trying a different magneto to see if we can get some spark out of it. And we went from a new magneto to an old magneto, which required a whole lot of rewiring, but there's something else going on, and we got to dig deeper and find out what's going on.
And the question that I was addressing as you were apparently coming up the ramp was, what happens now? You guys go home, the season's over. Well, I guess you got Mahogany or Merlot coming up if you will go over for that. But what you do in the off season, and I was saying, you guys don't just stop. You've got to go through the engine. If you have to tear it down, you do. You drain everything out of it. You're on a crew. You are part of this team. You work all year long.
Oh, yeah, we never stop. We'll do winter maintenance after Mahogany and Merlot, which will be retorquing all the cylinder banks, readjusting all the valves, anything else that might have popped up that a crew chief tells us we need to look at in the engine shop. So it's an ongoing year-round thing.
Well, you do a nice job, young man. I've known you for a long time, Mr. Raymond. It's good to see you. Take care of Auburn for me. I know it's a better place now that I'm out of it.
I'm not going to touch it.
Thank you very much, young man. Glenn Raymond with the Hydroplane Race Boat Museum, and that guy has driven more laps than most unlimited drivers could dream of driving one of these vintage boats. He does a great job.
I bet Auburn misses you, Brad.
Yeah. Actually, I miss Auburn. It was great. I lived there for about 16 years. Be careful. I've been known to drop these microphones in people's laps. Dixon Smith is standing here, and he's pretending to mimic me. There you go. That was Dixon Smith. That's what you're getting out of him, the owner, driver, chief cook and bottle washer on the 1962 Miss Bardall. I don't know if you heard this yesterday, Craig, but halfway through the 1962 season, Dixon Smith was hired on as a full-time crew member for that boat in the 62 season, stayed with them through 66.
I was 7 at the time.
I was 10. Well, it looks like our boats are going to come back to the dock, and if we even only had 2, heck, if we even had 1, I'd still come down to the banks of the river to watch them.
A flavor pack is in the water?
Yes, it is, which means I'm going to start moving up toward the tower, guys. We're getting ready to go big boy racing.
610 KONA, Kennewick, Richland, Pasco. Special thanks again to Legends Casino, helping us bring you the legends of the sport with the vintage boats and the vintage final, thanks to Clover Island Inn with the 2023 Columbia Cup and STCU over the River Air Show. There's a number of reasons why Legends is a great spot. How about the Thursday and Saturday all-you-can-eat seafood buffet?
Seafood buffets.
$50.
Oh, how much?
50
For
and they've
all
got
you can
crab
eat
legs. I know.
That's
They're going to change that price when I go check that out.
Well, and they've got a really nice hotel too, so
tell you what.
you can stay there all night.
They are constantly upping their own ante, and that's tough when you're betting against your own house.
Legends Casino Hotel, also great entertainment, really nice venue for concerts. Coming up on Thursday.
Move it on over.
Yeah, there you go.
Lonesome George Thorogood, that's bad to the bone.
And the Destroyers.
Yes, 50th anniversary tour. We looked it up. Hat speaks about it yesterday, 1973. Bernie Little owns the Miss Budweiser, driven by Dean Chenoweth. Wins the checkered flag 50 years ago on this year racecourse.
Also, Los Lonely Boys will be there August 4th. Ken Jeong will be October 13th on stage.
Hilarious. Is Ken?
Kidding.
Oh, yeah, man. That's high caliber there. Come on, Legends.
Legends Casino and Hotel. We have a timeout for you. Weather forecast, well, we've been following for you, and the winds have stayed below 10 miles per hour here in the Tri-Cities, but they've been moving around a little bit. The clouds have started to pass. We'll get more sunshine over the next half hour, and temperatures will start to rise, but it's been rather pleasant. We're sitting at 88 degrees right now. Weather updates thanks to Anderson and Zentz Dental. Traffic watch on the Blue Bridge looking fine. The 240 looks A-OK, but that will be changing when everybody starts to leave after the Columbia Cup final. And don't forget, after all of the racing action, thanks to Broadmoor RV, the Rooster Tail wrap-up show. Take a time out. We'll be back for Heat 3A, thanks to the Trust Company. It's coming up next on 610 KONA and 610KONA.com. For some racing, it's Heat 3A presented by the Trust Company. Our lineup includes J. Michael Kelly in the bright red 8 Beacon Electric. Dustin Eccles in the flavor pack, it's farmer owned 40. It's yellow with blue highlights. Corey Peabody in the white 9 Beacon Plumbing with blue metallic lettering. And Jamie Nielsen, it's a different color. It's kind of green, it's kind of yellow, and there's some blue and red too. It's the 11 Legend Yacht Transport presents Trust Company. And we are ready for Heat 3A thanks to the Trust Company. Let's go down to the Neil F. Lamson pit, 6:20 on the clock.
Yep, we're 6 minutes and 20 seconds right now until the start of our Trust Company Heat 3A. You were talking there about the U11 Legend Yacht Transport presented by the Trust Company. I had a very interesting conversation with Scott Rainey, boat owner, who's right below me. He'll be on the radio talking to his driver, Jamie Nielsen. He says, everybody is talking to me and talking to us like they feel bad for us. They're really sorry that we lost our points because we got disqualified, blah, blah, blah. And he says, that's just flat not the case. He goes, we are happy. We are so pleased. Our boat is running so well that we know we're getting faster. And to get faster, we have to push the envelope. He goes, everybody's pushing the envelope. That's what we're doing. And when we do, we're going to cross the line and we're going to have things like that. He said, but we are ecstatic. We're moving forward. Interesting perspective at 5:28 until the start of Heat 3A. Well, noses are starting to tip.
By missing out on those points, this becomes even more important in Heat 3A.
Absolutely, it does. So it's quite a sight. I talk about it every year. And Jeff Ayler, you've been able to come up here and watch this year. You know the big picture I have on my wall. It's got 6 boats coming out just like that. The noses just slowly start to tip out toward the center of the Columbia. And we are inside 5 minutes now. They can roll. Take a look at that. Jeff, 1, 2, 3, 4. They come away. Jamie Nielsen, the closest to us. Then it's the flavor pack with Dustin Eccles. Then it's J. Michael Kelly, who pops out in the Beacon Electric, and right behind him, Corey Peabody in the Beacon Plumbing. 4 boats now. Here's a good sight. AJ, what do you think of that?
Oh, man, what a sight. So beautiful coming down to Turn 2, Tire Factory Turn 2. We got the red boat, J. Michael Kelly with the U8, followed by his teammate, the white, with Peabody, of course, and then I think it's green, personally. A lot of people think it's yellow.
I agree.
The green and blue with Nielsen, and then Eccles following behind with the beautiful flavor pack. Now, the reason why, too, look at the flavor pack and then look at Nielsen's boat, and with the yellow and the flavor pack, it definitely makes Nielsen's boat look even more green.
It's so green.
Guys, I hate to tell you this, but the colorblind guy is going to straighten this out. That boat is chartreuse.
It's a shade of green.
Come on, man. You're confusing me. Knock it off.
And everybody's going, oh, well, you put the 2 boats close together in the pit area, and you can really see the difference in the color. And I'm going, really?
Yeah, we've got an incursion in the DMZ, the ESCO Electric DMZ. Nielsen will come through, and J. Michael Kelly will come through.
But that was a legal cut, right?
Oh, yeah.
Oh, you mentioned DMZ. I'm going, whoa.
No, they're good.
Okay.
It's the infield, brought to you by ESCO Electric. Perfectly legal.
3:20 until the start. Yes, that chartreuse royal blue with red accents, U11. Jamie Nielsen coming down the front straightaway here in lane number 1. Now on the far outside. Now this is what I expected Dustin Eccles to do in the last heat. He's been in lane 1 twice. It hasn't necessarily worked out for him. I think this time he's going to stick wide. Now, I don't know if we're going to really see any of these boats move. Still got time to kill. We just ticked inside 3 minutes. AJ got him right in front of you.
Eccles just came by in first. Now, he's kind of curving over a little bit. I don't know if he's looking to claim a lane. And then, of course, you got Nielsen, followed by J. Michael Kelly, and then Peabody, who nobody's been able to beat so far this season, coming down the backstretch. Man, that's a beautiful sight.
My money's on Eccles doing the outside boogie, because I swear he was doing a timing run toward the start.
He's going through the ESCO Electric infield to the front stretch.
All right, well, the last time he came down and around, he was definitely doing a timing run to the start-finish line. So maybe he's got something in his hip pocket. We'll see what happens at the start-finish.
2 minutes and 15 seconds to the start of 3A from Trust Company. The other 3 boats will go into White's Finished Furniture and Hardwood's turn number 3, and Buffalo Brothers turn number 4.
2 minutes coming up, and Brad, you're saying you want to be at the bottom end about 135. Is that correct?
No, you do not want to be down here before 130.
Okay.
You'd like to be down here about 115, 120.
All right, well, there's 150, and they're all kind of slowing down. We saw this earlier as well. Maybe everybody's going to stay in the pack and sort of feed off one another and hit the start-finish line at the same time. What do you think?
Yeah, here comes Dustin. He's going to come back across and join these three. Right now it's Jamie Nielsen in 1. It is J. Michael Kelly in 2. It is Corey Peabody in 3. Watch Dustin. He will come down and slot into the outside lane, lane 4. We'll call it. Love the timing they've got right now. So, guys, here it is. They're going to get to the entrance pin. Jamie's there at 117. This is perfect timing. Don't worry about Dustin Eccles on the outside. He can wind it up. He can catch him. AJ, bring him through.
Nielsen coming in the first lane, the beautiful blue and green in first place.
1 minute.
Followed
1
by
minute.
J. Michael Kelly in second in the bright red, and then, of course, his teammate Peabody in the white boat, and then, of course, Eccles coming in the yellow and blue flavor pack, catching up really quick to take that fourth lane.
Nielsen in 1. J. Michael Kelly 2, Peabody lane 3. On the outside, Eccles in lane number 4 as they come up the backstretch with 37 seconds to the start of the Trust Company Heat 3A.
This should be fun. Somebody's got a score up buoy going, okay, I'm going to hit it at this mark. Watch this.
Watch Jamie Nielsen. He has been nailing the start.
There at that entrance, 22. Yeah. I like it.
Yeah, and on the outside, look at Eccles. He's got foot in the throttle now as he comes to the exit pin of turn number 4. He's way on the outside. There's Nielsen just off the exit pin. J. Michael Kelly on his hip, then Peabody, then Eccles.
6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1.
It's really close.
Look good, though.
Yeah, Nielsen's on the inside, but it's Peabody with a boat speed in lane number 3 as they come down the front stretch. J. Michael Kelly's in the hallway. It's a legal start.
It's a legal start. Nielsen gets down here dead even with Corey Peabody in the tunnel. J. Michael Kelly, but he's not back very far. AJ!
Nielsen coming around the corner in first in blue and green with Peabody in second, and then J. Michael Kelly, his teammate. Ooh, Peabody looks like he's catching up on the outside as they come down the backstretch.
J. Michael Kelly hit some really rough water in the tunnel, but held on to it. Boy, it looked like he was getting loose in there. Jamie Nielsen is back about 3 boat lengths. Peabody's got the lead. Nielsen's going to, though, catch him as they head into turn number 3 for White's Furniture. Top end of the course, Nielsen on the inside. On the outside, it's Peabody in lane number 3. Then we start to see J. Michael Kelly in between, in the hallway right there as they all come to the exit pin. Eccles is back in 4th place, just off the turn now. Across the start-finish line, it is Peabody. Look at that Beacon Plumbing go. 2nd place, J. Michael Kelly's going to take it away from Jamie Nielsen.
Corey Peabody in the Beacon Plumbing U9 from lane 3, driving everybody clean, going to get down here first, but it's J. Michael Kelly just off to his left, and then it's Nielsen, still really tight, AJ.
Look at Peabody coming out front, really screaming through turn number 2, Tire Factory, and then, of course, looks like J. Michael Kelly holding on to 2nd place. Man, what a great race.
Eccles had a great turn through All Doors Incorporated turn number 1, Tire Factory turn number 2. He may be able to catch up with Jamie Nielsen. The race leaders, Peabody, as they head to White's Furniture turn number 3. 2nd place, J. Michael Kelly. 3rd, Jamie Nielsen.
You got to give it to Peabody. He gave his teammate room coming out of turn 2. He went extra wide and then cut it up to give him some room on that inside for his teammate.
Does Jamie Nielsen have enough to catch J. Michael Kelly? He did at the exit pin, but look at J. Mike pull away in 2nd place. Peabody, the race leader, already down the front stretch, heading into All Doors turn number 1.
Races for 2nd.
Coming down here with a full rooster tail lead on teammate J. Michael Kelly, but Kelly is worried about his left side rear mirror because that's where Jamie Nielsen is. In the Legend Yacht Transport, AJ.
Corey Peabody in the white U9 in first place by an entire rooster tail. J. Michael Kelly, his teammate, 2nd place in red, coming in really close, trying to catch him. And then, of course, in 3rd. And then Flavor Pack coming into the back on 4th.
Looks like another Tri-City strong.
Peabody into turn number 3 for White's Furniture. Checkered flag is out to Buffalo Brothers turn number 4. Lane number 3 victory for Corey Peabody. How about that? J. Michael Kelly now to the exit pin. Nielsen's on the inside, but he can't catch him. Peabody, it's another win on the Columbia River course for Strong Racing. Second place will go to J. Michael Kelly in the Beacon Electric. Third place, Jamie Nielsen, Legend Yacht Transport Trust Company. And a fourth place finish for the Flavor Pack, Dustin Eccles in the 40.
Fun boat race, my friends.
Really good racing down in turns 1 and 2. All Doors and Tire Factory, turn 1 and 2. They really didn't have that much trouble with the water, AJ.
No, there wasn't a lot of bouncing, and everyone held their lanes really well. It wasn't like yesterday where we almost had a bump. But, man, really close racing. That was great. That was amazing heat. Really tight.
So the winners head back to the Lamson pits, and we'll get our reaction thanks to American Radiator and our pit reporters.
I think you hit the nail on the head a while back. You were like, can anybody figure out that Peabody fella? Nobody's been able to figure him out when he has been in a race, of course, Madison notwithstanding.
Well, Madison, he fell in a hole and spun out, but if he's finished, nobody has solved that puzzle yet.
And, you know, he just seems to get stronger as the race goes. And what was really impressive to me coming into turn number 2, had the overhead look, and he was giving his teammate extra space because coming down out of turn 4, there was a real pinch. So his teammate really had a tough time getting through there. I think he had to back off the throttle a little bit, but extra wide turn, and then he cut it up. You know, and I think he lost a little bit of ground, a little bit of time, but, you know, again, he just seemed to get better, Peabody did, as the race was going.
Yeah, and there's a big part of me that wants to say, you know, it's a teammate, and it is, but these guys, they race to win, but there's still an element of a teammate being there as far as driving him clean and giving him lots of room. But the other side of the equation is, I think Corey realized about a lap and a half into this thing, he's got these guys covered. Right. I mean, he had them covered. He was slowly moving away throughout the entire heat. The boat is just flat a rocket.
Well, it's amazing the way that they, almost like the Blue Angels, get these boats back into the pits without hitting each other.
Gentlemen, we have Corey Peabody, and Corey, hey, let's do it again, huh?
Yeah, it was a great heat for us. Happy to get that Beacon Plumbing boat some 400 points if you know it past Tech. Pretty sure we should be good, but you never know. Happy to be here, happy to be a part of this festival, and looking forward to the final.
It's a perfect weekend for you. I mean, everything's going your way.
Well, we're not done, so, you know, got to get in the tech truck and sit down, crunch some numbers, see what we got. Hopefully we can put something really special together for the final.
And you touch on that, you go back, you look at everything. What are some of the things you try and break down to look at to maybe be a little bit better?
Well, you just got to look at your fuels and your N2s and stuff like that. You know, it's going to get warmer, 5-lap race on the final. So you got to watch how your fuel's reacting to the heat and stuff like that. But, you know, let's get through this tech inspection first, then worry about the next one. But happy for Beacon Plumbing, happy for Beacon Electric, and it's going to be a heck of a final.
All right, we're looking forward to you. See you in about an hour.
All right, thank you.
Nicely done, Craig, down there getting our leader. And, yeah, it has been a perfect weekend so far. And quite honestly, I walked past J. Michael Kelly. I thought I would take this opportunity. I've already spoken with Jamie Nielsen at one time. I'm going to talk to him again as boat owners. Scott and Shannon Rainey, congratulate him. You've been racing again, man. There's nothing easy out here. You got the inside lane, but, man, those guys are quick.
Oh yeah, that's some stiff competition out there. So, you know, we had a game plan there. We executed our game plan. We got the inside. We let them down the first turn, and man, we did everything we could. But this U11 Legend Yacht Transport presented by Trust Company, I think there might be a little something extra sitting in the truck for the final. So we'll get with Scott, look at the data, and see if we can find that extra 1 or 2 we need. So that was a really good measuring stick, that heat.
I talked to boat owner Scott Rainey. Well, I guess we're going the wrong way. We're trying to walk out from underneath the boat, and we're just managing to walk right along with it. Now I don't know where I was. Oh, I was talking to Scott on Thursday when we did the pit walk, and I made some comment about you guys maybe enjoying the week since Madison. He goes, no, he says, we worked our tails off. What I'm seeing out here is the results of all that work. This thing's running really, really well, the best I've seen it.
Oh, for sure. I mean, there's no secret how to get better, and that's hard work and dedication, and this team exemplifies that. So, you know, we're going to keep at it. That's our formula, and we're going to keep keep applying it.
Well, and I know the people at Legend Yacht Transport are very happy. Certainly those trust company folks are happy. There's that whole group of them up the beach, so they've got to be hooting and hollering for you.
Oh, it's awesome. I'm sure everyone can hear that VIP tent down there with the trust company folks. So I think they're 300 strong down there, and we love the noise they're making.
And the H1 Unlimited competition, there's just nothing that can beat it right now.
Well,
I guess we can make it a little easier for you, but I'll tell you what.
From the beach.
It looks great from the beach. Anyway, congratulations. Great run. We'll look for you later on. You're not done.
All right. No, we're not done at all. So thank you.
Go get the secret parts out of the truck.
You got it.
Nobody listens to me, so I think you're okay.
The secret parts.
The secret parts. Legend Yacht Transport, presented by the Trust Company.
What are the secret parts?
What are the secret parts?
The secret parts are the special skid fin. Oh, wait, we'll find out right here.
Whoa,
Watch
whoa.
this.
Hey.
Watch this. I'll find out. I got inside scoop. Now, Shannon,
Easy.
nobody listens to me. It's just you and me here. What are the secret parts?
You know, my husband sworn me to secrecy.
This would be my last gig with a microphone if you told me, right?
Yes, it would.
Something like that. Congratulations, Shannon.
Thank you very much.
Great run, great run. So, looking at Bobby King stepping aboard the U-12 right now. He's just up the dock. He is in our next heat. I'm looking for boats that didn't run in that one, and I see a blue one down there. The home street's in the water. 91's got to be on the other side. Who am I missing? The 3, and they are hanging over the water up on the other dock.
What we're missing is what the secret parts are.
I know.
The secret parts.
The secret parts.
Special thanks to
Okay.
Canyon Lakes Golf Course, along with Columbia Basin Paper and Supply, Apollo Heating and Air Conditioning, also Golf Universe, Farmers Exchange, and Firehouse Subs. Our friends over at Washington Hardware, 100 years downtown Kennewick, and the Umatilla County Fair that kicks off next Wednesday through Saturday in Hermiston.
It is that time of year for
Yep.
fairs, and I love how they overlap. Obviously, you don't want a competition, but you could do the circuit. You know, it's a good time. Good chance to meet neighbors and introduce yourself to new friends.
Yep. And enjoy some good entertainment, too.
For sure.
And the Farm City Pro Rodeo in Hermiston. That's a
Yeah,
goodie. That
always
is a good one.
Absolutely.
Hey, guys, before we take off the dock here, is it still busy down here? We'll give Craig West here a special mission.
The secret part?
The secret parts,
secret
baby.
parts.
Go find
Special,
out.
at least it's not my special purpose. We
That's
heard
right.
about that one before.
Special mission. Now, well, and you know, that's what it's all about, too. And I talked to J. Michael Kelly about this in the previous heat. You just, when he won out here on one of his wins, I don't remember what it was, but he never won a preliminary heat. And he couldn't get the boat to run. And his crew just kept telling him, don't worry about it. Don't worry about it. We'll find it. And at that time, he was driving this Graham Trucking, and when they put that thing in the water for the final, I think it was 2017, when they put that boat in the water for the final, nobody could touch that boat. And I remember him coming back, and I said, where did that come from? He said, they just kept telling me, we'll get there, we'll get there. And so it can happen. It can happen very much like that. You never know. We're still going to have to go out and run it. As Craig's interview with Corey Peabody told us, you know, it's more laps. The water's going to get rougher. A lot more things can happen. This Columbia Cup is up in the air.
And basically, it comes down to it's a best out of one now when it comes down to
It's
it.
kind of exactly what it is for those guys that just ran. So we're getting ready to go with our Heat 3B. Craig and I are going to head on up, and we'll be ready to roll.
Awesome. And we will have time for a timeout coming up in just a second here on 610 KONA. I want to say hello to Jeff Winnie with Bosch. Works with Bunch Finnegan in town, but Jeff's listening over in Tacoma on our 610 KONA mobile app. Thank you very much for being on board, and thanks for my dishwasher. I really appreciate Bosch. They keep you clean.
You know, you just don't get enough credit for the dishwasher. You use it all the time.
I know.
It's so incredibly reliable.
It's loaded.
Dang it. You beat me to it.
It's loaded.
God dang it.
Yep. The quietest dishwasher known to man.
No, it's great.
The
and,
Bosch.
you know, there's a couple of different settings you can use on the Bosch because they had to, like, you know, you used to be able to turn the heat up. I'm talking, you know, lawsuit hot. So they put like a restrictor in it, but there's ways around it if you know your Bosch.
And
I do.
They know Bosch at Bunch Finnegan.
Yes,
They've had
they do.
Bosch longer than any other appliance store in the region. All right, now we take a timeout. More of our coverage coming up with Heat 3B. Who's in it? Jimmy King, along with his son Bobby King. Yep, the Griggs Ace Hardware and the Graham Trucking, along with the Home Street with Dylan Runney and the Goodman Real Estate with Andrew Tate. 3B, thanks to the Trust Company, next on 610 KONA. Let's see. We have a weather forecast to get to thanks to Anderson and Zentz Dental. And with that, let's go back to the K1A Legends Casino Studios and Leap Bakken. About 87, 88 degrees right now. So Heat 3B is coming up just moments away as we start to see some of the boats in the water now over at the Neil F. Lamson pits. And with that angle from Tire Factory turn number 2, it's A.J. Brewster.
Yeah, what a beautiful day. The wind, if you're wondering, is pretty much non-existent over here on the Pasco side, on the Franklin County side. And
but look at the Blue Bridge, though. The flag's headed the other way from where it was earlier today.
yeah, and but it's really not pointed that bad. It's still kind of drooping a little bit. A lot of boats over by the Blue Bridge and getting ready for the evening's races. I'm excited for this next race, actually.
Yep, 9 minutes and about 30 seconds until the start of Heat 3B from the Trust Company. Again, Jimmy King in the Griggs Ace Hardware, 610 K1A, U3. In the U12, Graham Trucking, it's his son, Bobby King, who can be up on the front row in position 3 or 4, lane 3 or 4. Dylan Runney in the 1 Home Street, and in the 91 Goodman Real Estate, Andrew Tate.
Bobby, King of the Hill.
Looking right now, it looks like the Home Street is out in the water, and
well, they're on the dock. They're at the dock.
Yeah, right at the dock.
Everybody is in the water. We're all good. They just dropped the U3 Griggs in the water. They were over the water. They were just hanging there, but they are in the water. Everybody's getting strapped in, ready for.
Brad, quick question.
Yes, sir.
Why is the 3 always the last one out?
It's a good question. It's all about conserving the equipment for them, and they're not going to go out and get in the milling period and get in a big fight to get to an inside lane. I think they just want to wind it up and put it on the outside, and therefore they don't have to go out and get in the middle of all that stuff. Jeff, did I come close to that? I know you know that team really, really well.
Oh, great analogy. Also, too, it helps Ed Cooper save on the methanol bill.
There you go. Now, there's the real reason. But there's just no reason to go out and mix it up with everybody to get an inside lane if you're not going to go there anyway.
So will we have King in 3 and King in 4?
That's interesting. I was thinking about that walking back up from the pit area. I'm wondering if there was a conversation between King and King, because we think the 3 is going to want to go on the outside. The 12 has to run in lane 3 or 4. I don't know if you picked that up, Jeff, but
yes,
they've got to run in 3 or 4. So which one's going to be in 3 and who's going to be in 4? Are you going to tell me how that works, Jeff? They got some inside info?
Well, it's going to be interesting. I think Dylan Runney would love a first or a second in the Home Street. I think Andrew Tate would take a first or a second as well. And as Kurt has mentioned all weekend, Pocket Kings, it's dad and son. Who gets lane number 3? We'll see who wins the bet.
That was Jeff Ayler not answering the question and not sticking his nose out.
Career in politics ahead.
He's good. I'm telling you, that guy is good.
I tell you what, he announced a pro stock heat, a pro light heat in Madison, Indiana with, get this, the governor of the great state of Indiana. You did that, didn't you?
I did. It was neat. Governor Eric Holcomb has been to Madison the past 2 Indiana Governor's Cups, and I will answer your question now. Bobby King, lane 3, Jimmy King, lane 4.
Really?
Amazing if you can push these politicians corner. Maybe you can get an answer out of them. What are we looking at here?
I got a quick question for
647
for the very precious points as you look at the field, and I apologize, I don't have the stats in front of me.
Yeah.
Who needs a win the most, knowing that it's all over at Seafair next weekend? Who really needs to come in first or second in this race?
I think it's those Home Street guys down there, Home Street and the U91 Goodman Real Estate.
Okay.
Because the Graham Trucking guys have just joined the field, and you kind of gave the answer. when you were talking about the national points thing and going to Seattle, because we won't have the Griggs Ace Hardware U3 in Seattle, so that's not going to play into that. And then Bobby King and the Graham Trucking, they're going to be there, but they just joined the season.
Right.
So as far as national high points and trying to score something there and have a shot at things, it's those two boats down at the far end that are owned by our own Jeff Ayler in the city of Madison, Indiana. I have to ask you this question every year, Jeff. I always do. What part of those boats do you own as a citizen of Madison? And don't tell me Rikers Ridge is not part of Madison.
Well, in the contract west of the Mississippi River, Rikers Ridge, I get to own lots of the transom of these boats since I'm in the Tri-City. So good luck to boat drivers. I can't pick either one.
If you haven't figured it out, Jeff and I have a pretty good time. We were on the pipes in Gunnersville together. We were in Madison, Indiana together. We have a lot of fun when there's hydroplanes on the water, and Jeff and I happen to have a microphone or 3 or 4. All right.
So you got a pair of Pocket Kings, you got a pair of freaking Beacons.
Yes.
Now, my question is the 91 with Andrew Tate. Has he had a chance to tangle with any of the Beacon boats in any of the preliminary heats, or are we just going to have to wait till the end to see if that new engine in the 91 is going to be enough to take down either of the Beacon boats?
I think he got a swing at him in Heat 1A. I think we had Team Madison versus Team Strong.
Okay.
In that one, and that was when they came back to the dock and said, let's put a different motor
Yeah, that's
in.
a different engine. So, it'd be interesting once again to see if the 91 has that extra gear like it had in its previous heat to just sort of pull away. And it was like extraordinary to me that with the parity that we've seen so far in the field, it just seemed like that new engine that just caught an extra gear and he was gone.
All right, we are inside 5 minutes to the start of Heat 3B, thanks to the Trust Company. Traffic watch, thanks to Bob's Burgers and Brew. We do have quite a bit of traffic now heading southbound over the Blue Bridge. Just a reminder, keep focused on what's ahead of you. It's going to be difficult with the boats out on the water, but make sure you're looking ahead and don't follow too closely up there. We've been pretty good on our traffic watch so far this weekend.
I was going to say on the rubbernecking scoreboard, this is the first year in a while that we've had, I don't want to jinx it, so I'm going to go ahead and knock on some wood, but so far no traffic tie-ups, where you see the rollers, where you see the flashing lights, where there's a situation. But there's no question about it, especially with the boats starting to come out onto the river. You could just see the traffic almost come down to like a 10-mile-an-hour standstill.
On the backstretch, Team Madison on the inside, Runny in the home street. You've got Tate in the Goodman Real Estate on the outside. And we will have a crossing of the infield, the ESCO electric infield, by both Madison boats. They did this previously.
Under 330.
Then here comes Daddy Jimmy King right around Tire Factory turn number 2.
And Bobby King headed right at you in the 12-gram trucking and Tire Factory turn 2.
This is going to be great seeing father and son battle it out right next to each other.
Lanes 3 and 4. Coming up on 3 minutes until the start of 3B.
So it looks like the teammates may have decided that it will be, here cutting across is Andrew Tate in the Goodman Real Estate through the ESCO infield.
Just as you spoke.
I thought maybe he was going to let Runny have lane number 1, but maybe not.
Now, remember that conversation about teammates. And it was Andrew Tate who said, no, I wear gold and black. He wears blue and white. He doesn't like the term teammates. Well, he just jumped in front of him over there and said, if you want to jump inside of me, you're going to have to do something else other than what you're doing right now. 2:30 until the start. Here comes the Turbinator down the front straightaway.
Sounds good.
Yep, Jimmy King not running too very hard. Then at the top end of the race course, we'll watch him around and see just how far outside he wants to swing. But the key here is going to be, he's going to be on the outside, but Bobby King, is going to have an opportunity to run on the front row. So hopefully we get a good-looking 4-boat start here.
Coming up on 2 minutes. 2 minutes mark. And 3B, the Trust Company.
And Bobby King is just passed the start-finish line with 2 minutes to go.
That's a tough spot to be, but he is way to the outside. You can do the math and figure out at 80 miles an hour how far you will travel in 2 minutes, and it's further than 2.5 miles.
So he's going way wide.
He's going to go way wide anyway. And watch, his radio guy is going to say, go out and paint those outside course markers. Honestly, he's not going quite as wide as I thought he would. He is in a tough spot right now.
Hey, fellas, listen to Jimmy King as he goes by, and listen to that boat and tell me if you think it sounds all right.
All right, meanwhile, we got the Madison boys coming down here. Andrew on the inside, Dylan just outside of him.
Buck 10.
Yeah, AJ, you got something there maybe on the Griggs.
Something's funny.
It doesn't sound quite right, but they're heading down into all doors turn number 1, and we're inside 1 minute. Inside 1 minute. Tana Morissette just letting us know all of these drivers came out of the HRL driving league.
Well, I'm going to tell you, I'm going to disagree a little bit. I thought Jimmy King sounded wonderful as he came down here in the Turbinator, 43 seconds.
Sounds good around this corner. He sounded much better.
And Bobby King is way up there.
Yep, he's just entering turn number 3. White's Finished Furniture and Hardwoods now on the outside. So I think Jimmy King may be forced inside. On the inside, lane number 1, Andrew Tate, Goodman Real Estate. Lane number 2, Dylan Runny in the 1, Home Street.
15 seconds.
Lane number 3 will be Jimmy King in the piston-powered Griggs Ace Hardware 610 K1A boat. Lane number 4 on the outside, the 12, Graham Trucking with Bobby King.
5, 4, 3, 2, 1.
Jimmy King looked early. The speed is on the inside with Tate, but right there with him in the home street is Dylan Runny as they go to all doors turn number 1.
Yeah, the 3 boats are going to get down there pretty quick. There's a lot of speed on the outside, that with Jimmy King. But the Madison boys are running 1-2 on the inside lane. Going to be Tate getting to the exit pin first.
Andrew Tate has the lead coming through turn 2, and man, the home street right on his heels at number 2, and then Jimmy King right on in third, number 3.
Under review is the start.
Yep. We do have a jump for the 3, and now we start to hear that piston-powered boat make the noise you don't want to hear, and he's lost power on the back stretch. Good call on the sound, AJ, earlier in the milling period. Off the exit pin, Buffalo Brothers turn number 4, Tate, Goodman Real Estate in second place. The leader now, Dylan Runny, as they come on the front stretch to complete lap number 1. It's Madison versus Madison, but they're not teammates on the water right now. They're running against each other really hard. Trying to gain on the inside, the Goodman Real Estate with Andrew Tate, heading into all doors, turn number 1. Runny's with the lead.
You could know he doesn't have the lead. If he does, it's by a coat of paint. AJ, they're dead even.
Coming around turn 2, we got in first place Andrew Tate. And the U91, the U1, the blue and white with Dylan Runny right behind him in second place. Coming up in third place, Bobby King trying to catch up.
Jimmy King, meanwhile, in the Griggs boat, looks to be inside the apex of turn number 3, White's Furniture, and out of the way. So that's certainly a good spot for him to be without power right now. Exit pin, the leader is Tate by almost a half a rooster tail as they come onto the front stretch. So Tate, they found the right engine, didn't they? They said they had a bigger bullet, and they're shooting it right now.
Yeah, they're shooting it right now, and it is responding. Andrew Tate, U91, Goodman Real Estate. I'll tell you what, Dylan Runny in the home street is not going to let him go, but Andrew Tate on an inside lane's got an absolutely gorgeous boat ride to the apex at AJ.
Look at the rooster tails coming around Tire Factory turn 2. It is Andrew Tate leading by almost a full rooster tail. The U1 and Dylan Runny trying to run him down the back stretch, but doesn't look like he's going to make it. Bobby King coming in third.
King at the exit pin at Tire Factory turn number 2, heading up the Griggs Ace Hardware backstretch. It is almost a rooster tail lead right now for Tate. Trying to reel him in, but he's going to be on the outside. Runny's got a long way to go to try to catch his teammate Tate in the Goodman Real Estate 91, and he won't be able to do it. At the exit pin out of the front stretch, your race leader, Andrew Tate, looking on the outside, though. Here comes a hard-charging Dylan Runny. He's flying the home street, but he's not going to catch Andrew Tate.
Wow.
He has an extra half a lap. That's a photo finish.
He almost had him.
And look at Bobby King representing. He was
Third
making
place finish for the Graham Trucking and Bobby King.
He was making up a lot of ground as well. He had some to go, and I think he really put his foot into that last lap to see, okay, you know, it's the issue has been decided. Let's see what we got here. Love to see that.
How close was that finish? You guys
2 boat
looked
lengths
like,
maybe?
Yeah.
How much?
Yeah, he was really put his foot in it down that front stretch and was making up ground for sure.
Wow. Yeah, I think that explains just how close the teammates are there. They, because there was,
Right.
when they came down here at the end of lap 1 and the beginning of lap number 2, you, in fact, you called it. You said, Mike, you said, Runny out in front. And then all of a sudden we could see Andrew on the inside, and he was coming really hard. And by the time they got down here, literally they were dead even. And I think that's when I said, yeah, if he's out front, it's only by a coat of paint. It was really good.
Oh, Jimmy King. Oh, Griggs Ace Hardware. Oh, boy.
You know, even
Thornworks Tow Rope is on the way.
Yep.
Thornworks Construction, commercial, residential remodels.
Yeah, you just hope there's nothing substantial there and some damage. I mean, we heard the popping when he goes up there, but that's just, you know, that's just the excess fuel popping out of the turbocharger more than likely. And that happens every time he pulls his foot out of it. So you just hope there's nothing else going on up there.
No calls on the water, thanks
Good.
to Tana Morissette.
Very good.
Yeah, when he came around the second time and I said something, it sounded like the engine was missing. You know,
it
like
just had a rumble to it, didn't
yeah,
it?
had a weird pop, a little something that was just not right. When he came around the second time, you're right, he sounded fine. But then he blew it, you know, down at the end, that's when the engine went or something went.
Now, you said no calls on that, but there was still the jump the gun call on the 3, correct?
Yeah, that was from the beginning of the race. Now,
Right.
that's interesting. That doesn't say that here, but it's a DNF anyway.
Yeah, it's not gonna make a difference.
Well, that's unfortunate as the Thornworks tow rope is headed over to Jimmy King, and that's the longest distance that you can be towed.
that's been our kind of our luck this weekend.
Yeah,
We've
wrong
had
end of the course.
couple, 3 of them, and 2 of them have been way down there.
Jimmy sitting on the cockpit for the ride back, so if you have that chance, you can definitely wave.
Right. Let them know how much you appreciate Piston Power there, Tri-Cities. Piston Power Pasco Plosives.
All right, let's see if we've got a couple boats maybe tied up. Oh, we do. We've got Craig West down here somewhere. Oh, I see him in the crowd of people down there, and he's making his way toward Andrew Tate. He will have him momentarily. And he's talking to Dylan Runny. Andrew Tate is. So the 2 of them are talking. Craig, you're right there. You can give us an update on what's going on down there.
Andrew Tate, that was quite the race, and Dylan Runny giving you props.
Yeah, that was pretty fun there with the kid. He did a good job. Thought he had me for a second.
Out there in the second lap, you were banging paint, as Brad said.
No, we didn't touch. It was clean. The whole thing was clean. It was just good old-fashioned racing. It was a lot of fun.
Yeah, it was basically just the distance of the paint was about all it was. I mean, that's how close the race was.
Yeah, it was like I said, a great race. I mean, it's nice to go into the turn knowing that your lane's going to be there, someone you can trust. So it makes all the difference in the world.
What was the key? It was like about a 10-second time that you really took and had the rear tail lead. What turned it for you?
Honestly, coming down this front chute, I think on the second lap, I don't know if he got a little out of shape or what, but we pulled him here at the end of the front chute going into turn 1 and was able to never look back. So we'll take it.
As far as the course, how's everything running?
Good. The wind has completely changed, almost 90 degrees since we ran this morning, so that makes it interesting. But it's going with the current now. It's a little more pleasurable out there. Turn 1's still nasty, but that's per usual.
Well, the wind looks good on you, and we'll see you in an hour.
Yeah, Goodman Real Estate Boat will be out there for the final looking for the win, so we're going to have some fun.
Thanks.
Thank you, Craig West, part of our American Radiator pit crew on 610 KONA. Also, getting information here from Aaron Stevens. He is the race director here for the Columbia Cup and STCU Over the River Air Show. This is an official announcement regarding flying drones. Flying drones are prohibited in the park and over the river. It is punishable by removal from the event. There are drones that are flying for H1 Unlimited and their video crew. They are official drones for the event. If you have an unofficial drone and are flying it, please get it back to the ground and do not fly it in the park.
So do we have to officially, in this day and age, get out of the water, stop flying the drone?
Yeah.
It hasn't gotten to that point yet.
Right, and coffee usually when you get it at the drive-thru is hot.
Just don't put it in your lap.
So be careful with that too.
Let's be careful out there.
First place finish for Andrew Tate in the Goodman Real Estate 91, and since changing out the turbine, they have been perfect on the water.
And it'll be very interesting to see what kind of gumption the boat has. And again, when you're talking about the final 5 laps, a lot of boats.
Yeah, the
Here
5
comes
laps is really the key.
Exactly.
Big point right there. Now, let's go back to the milling period. Remember, it looked like it was going to be runny on the inside at Goodman in lane 2 with Tate, right? The Goodman Real Estate boat with Tate in lane 2. And then, all of a sudden, cut the course.
Tate
91 gets lane number 1.
Right.
Runny goes to 2. If Runny's in lane 1, I think Runny runs away with it.
You do?
I do.
Is that right? I don't know. The 91 just seems to find that extra
He
gear.
caught him at the end. If he was in lane 1, he wins.
You know, it's interesting because
guys,
a lot
Pure
of
conjecture.
If I can jump in here real quick, we up and caught Dylan Runny.
Oh,
now,
good.
here's the problem we got going on, young man. You're going to talk to me about a boat race, but see, I'm an old guy, and see that tower way down? I have to get down here. It's a long walk. So you were already up here in the truck by the time I got back. Anyway, a couple of boats from Madison hooked up in a pretty doggone good race. You've been racing against him forever. You trust him every step of the way.
Yeah, I mean, he's one of the best of the best, and I think that's how, we're under the same banner, but that's how you're supposed to race boats right there. So I don't think we let an inch, and we were pushing till the very end, and I think that's what the fans want, and that's how we make it competitive here, and I think that's the right way to race boats.
How do you feel getting ready for the final? You're liking your boat ride? I'm sure you're going to make some adjustments.
Yeah, again, I mean, we're 3 weekends in with the U1 Miss Home Street here. Every lap I get in there, it gets more and more comfortable. So I think going into the final this week with still a little taste in my mouth from Madison, we're ready to go and ready to show the Beacon guys something here.
Yeah, you want to finish that thing you started in Madison. I still wish we could have seen that final.
Yeah, me too, but past is the past. Got to put it behind us and focus on the future here. And I think we've set ourselves up to be in a good position going into the final, and excited to see what it's going to be. It's probably the most competitive field of unlimited hydroplanes we've seen here in, I would say, the last decade or more. And, proud and honored to be a part of it, but ready to go win this thing.
And talking about the old guy and back 10 years, I can go back further than that. Yes, this is as good as it has been. It's really something for the fans. They're loving it.
Yeah, I'm just happy for the fans here in Tri-Cities. This is some of the best water we race on, some of the best race courses here, and just happy to put on a good show. I think the final is going to be something special here, so stay tuned and stick in for it. It's going to be a good one.
You heard it straight from Dylan Runny. Stay tuned, stay on. We're going to do it again in the final heat. Congratulations, my friend.
Thanks, Brad. Appreciate it.
There you go. Dylan Runny, driver of the U1, the Miss Home Street.
And as we come down to home stretch, ladies and gentlemen, the hits just keep on coming. About 20 minutes out, the International Brotherhood of Electrical Workers, Local 112, and the National Electrical Contractors Association 2.5 stock hydroplane heat final. We have the drivers and the boats and the rundown. Going to take a quick time out. Thank you for listening to the 2023 Columbia Cup and STCU Over the River Air Show on 610 Information Radio KONA and KONA.com. Okay, Mike is in the can.
it was a prop issue.
Yeah, I'm actually standing down here on the dock. I'm going to see if I can get
damage, Brad.
Yeah, there is damage to the wing. They're smiling, so I'm going to assume there's not damage on the underside, but maybe I can get a quick word with boat owner Ed Cooper here real quick. We got a prop gone?
Prop is gone.
How about damage underneath? Do you know? I mean, it doesn't appear to be listing or anything.
It would appear right now that the shaft broke at the strut, so there doesn't, besides the wing and the fairings where the prop went through it, doesn't appear to be any significant damage.
And I don't know a whole lot about these things, but that's a pretty important accoutrement. But it sounds like maybe you possibly dodged a bullet, losing a propeller.
Yeah, the problem with that was just paid for when I left Evansville on the way here. It's brand new. First time I was ever in the water was yesterday.
Oh, brother. Well, a tough way to end this one, end that one, and that run, but you'll be back.
The good news, it was running really well.
It was indeed. So no motor issue, just back there at the back of the boat.
That's it.
All right.
Thank
Ed,
you.
go ahead and be with your team. Thank you very much.
Tech Reports brought to you by All City Transmission, and there's no way that we would have been hear something that was out of whack with the prop shaft.
No. If you had any type of vibration there, which would be what you would feel, or if he had lost
maybe a premonition.
Yeah, if he had lost, a part of a blade or something like that, it would have just vibrated.
Sure.
And they say the steering wheel becomes the size, there's the oval of the steering wheel becomes the size of a basketball, and it just vibrates something fierce. So now he would have known that, but it looks like on some level, except for the fact that was a brand new propeller, as Ed said.
Price tag?
A lot.
10, 15
More,
grand?
Yeah, in there.
That's
In
a
there.
lot to lose.
So,
but if that's the case, and I'm not explaining that I know what to do more than these teams do, but if it broke clean, something like that, and they'll know better when they get it up out of the water, but if it broke clean, I mean, there's nothing to say the propeller might not be clean. And I think they have some
get a
divers
diver.
that go for a swim. It's been done before. There's been propellers found out here before.
Right.
So I know for that kind of money, you could hire some pretty good divers.
Tough going underneath there, though. It's very, very murky.
Tech updates on 610 KONA thanks to All City Transmission, online allcitytrans.com. So they'll have to find that other prop. Do you think, point-wise, would they be able to make it into the final?
Well, you're going to have to take a look at what it looks like.
That's going to be tight, isn't it?
Yeah, I don't see this happening. We talked about, the possibility of a propeller issue, and what we're doing right now is we're looking at the horizontal stabilizer, the wing.
Sure.
And the bottom of it is all ripped off, and there's big chunks of it hanging down. I'm going to assume it went all the way through, but apparently all the way through a whole lot cleaner on the top than it did on the bottom. So I'm walking back here right now. Yeah, you can see where it went straight up and through, but there's a lot of material hanging down. There's a big hole in the top center of the wing, right where you would expect it would be if the propeller went north, with north being straight up. That's a tough break.
It is.
That is a tough break.
The only luck they've had here, it seems, in Tri-Cities is not good.
And that's really it. Wow.
Special thanks to American Radiator, bring you the live reports out of the pits today. All weekend long, AmericanRadiator.com. They've been keeping the Northwest cool since 1979. For ag and commercial applications, there's so many different cooling systems, condensers, and more that they can take care of for you. Whether it's rebuild, recore, or new, they clean DPFs and DOCs, and they do welding and metal fabrication jobs, too. The Northwest leading radiator specialists are from Pasco to you at AmericanRadiator.com. They cover a huge area, all the way from Coeur d'Alene through Wenatchee, Yakima, down into Oregon, LeGrand. It's just a huge area that they serve to make sure you stay cool. AmericanRadiator.com, the website. So we get ready for more 2.5-liter stock racing, thanks to the IBEW Local 112, the International Brotherhood of Electrical Workers. Joining me back at the start-finish line, Jeff Ayler. What a great afternoon of racing we've seen so far.
Michael, good afternoon once again. Fabulous action from the H1 Unlimited Hydroplane Series with 3A and 3B. Unfortunately, we had the did not finish with the local favorite, Griggs presents Miss Ace Hardware and 610 AM KONA. And understand, listening to you and Brad, I believe there's an issue with maybe a propeller or a stub shaft on the U3. So let's hope and keep our fingers crossed there's no hull damage. But when you mention those pieces, it kind of goes against you with the hull.
It does. But Brad's report was things look pretty good.
Good.
I think, Jeff, that I just talked to your buddy Ed, and I said you may have dodged a bullet here because they didn't hurry to get the boat back. Jimmy was not, acting like it was taking on water. The boat is not listing toward the rear end. And quite candidly, the boat is just sitting here at the dock, and the cranes are silent. And they're just waiting probably to get this 2.5-liter stock heat underway so they can maneuver around this dock a little better. I think if there was some serious damage and a lot of water entering this hull, they'd have this thing out already. It's the wing behind. You can see, Jeff, right where the propeller went straight up and went through the wing. There's a lot hanging down underneath it, a lot of red material, and there's a big hole in the top of it. I think it's good. I said that to Ed, you dodged a bullet, and he said, yeah, except for the fact that was a brand new propeller that they just paid for last week.
Thank you very much, Brad Luce, and let's hope the reports coming in on the hull will be okay for the U3 because Ed Cooper, the last 2 trips to Tri-Cities, he's returned to Posey County, Indiana, west of Evansville with hull damage, and Rick Bowles, the hull technician for the U3, flies in from Seattle to Posey County to fix that boat. So Rick is hoping not to make a trip this winter to Indiana, hoping to stay out in the Pacific Northwest. And our pit reporters Brad Luce and Craig West will keep us updated on the Turbinator.
Fantastic job down in the pits, and a special thanks to our tech update brought to you by All City Transmission. We will step aside. We've got the 2.5-liter stock coming back out with the IBEW, International Brotherhood of Electrical Workers 112. Final heat just minutes away on 610 KONA and 610KONA.com.
Well, those towboat operators did a great job. The boat beat me to the pits, then I got here on the golf cart.
Missing. What in the?
So, are you doing a wrap up again afterwards? Are you doing a wrap up afterwards?
Yes. Jeff Ayler, and we've got the boats out on the water for the 2.5 stock final heat. Davenport in the red boat. That's Kyle heading up towards turn number 1. He's been a fun one to watch all weekend long. It's yellow. It's the 12, Gunnar O'Farrell. Monkey Business right behind him into turn number 1. The white and orange boat, that's Jetson Burnett in the 225. Watch Jeff Bernard. He is next down the front stretch in the black and gray 1, Silver Cloud.
When the boat has been healthy, the story has been Jeff Bernard and the Silver Cloud Inn. But, Michael, the driver performance, I think, of the weekend in this class is Kyle Davenport in the dominant red number 6. I think he has done real well driving. Met him this morning for the first time, age 52, and we're going to have a did not start coming up with the 44.
Yep, that's John Gibney in the white and yellow 44 that did not start last time either.
And Jacob Malden is a scratch as well for the final.
So the 311, the white and blue boat, not in.
Thank you to Tana Morissette for that information.
The other boat to watch, the 77 black and orange boat with Jason Oslakson, has been extremely fast.
Yes, exactly. And the Fury, the 77, Jason Oslakson, it's not easy for Bernard. No doubt the favorite on paper coming in here is worth the 2-minute mark. Mile and 2/3 course, a 3-lap championship heat for the 2.5 stocks here at the 2023 Columbia Cup. Michael, who is parking early? It looks like it's Bernard.
Yeah, well, it was actually Davenport that went really slow up the backstretch, the Griggs backstretch, and then you had Bernard jump around him just like last time and claim lane number 1. Now,
and Les Jethridge by the start-finish line buoy in the Crazy Eights. Michael, we're now 1:30, and there's a good view on the camera. Bernard is up there, and that's what they do in 2.5 stock. It's the park and start sequence, and we'll see who's crafty enough to get lane number 1 shorter way around.
So Bernard right now is in lane number 1, Davenport in lane number 2. I guess the real question is who's going to snug up beside them in lane number 3. Because it looks like the orange and white boat isn't willing to get up there just yet. Jetson Burnett.
Coming up on 1 minute. 1 minute until the start. 2.5 stock. Winner take all championship here at the Columbia Cup in the Tri-Cities.
The Monkey Business, the yellow 12 with Gunnar O'Farrell's on the backstretch now at 50 seconds. And moving fairly slow.
Looks like Gunnar is going to try the outside lane, try to get across this start-finish line buoy with the best boat speed and hoping for some luck on the inside when they get down to turn number 1.
And Dethridge in the turquoise 8 outside of the yellow 12 with Gunnar O'Farrell. So inside it's Bernard, Davenport, and Oslakson. As Bernard will claim lane number 1. Lane number 2 is Davenport, Oslakson in 3, O'Farrell in 4. And then in lane number 5, it's Burnett. And on the outside, Dethridge. There we go. And the start, I don't know. We'll see in a moment if it's under review. It's going to be really close. The boat speed is O'Farrell, and O'Farrell slides over into lane number 1. The start is under review.
I think O'Farrell might be over. We'll call it physically until we get official word. Gunnar O'Farrell could be a possible gun jumper, your leader, but on his hip on the inside is Jeff Bernard. Michael off the corner. O'Farrell is in the lead, but he could be in jeopardy of a 1-minute penalty.
Coming up the backstretch, O'Farrell has the lead. You've got Jeff Bernard in second place. A really nice run on the outside by Dethridge in the 8, followed by Davenport and Oslakson. Coming up the backstretch, stretching out the lead right now is the 12 with Gunnar O'Farrell. Bernard trying to creep into the picture in the 1 as they come to turn number 2. At the exit pin, really nice run. Tight to the buoy line for the bright yellow Gunnar O'Farrell 12.
And Michael,
races for second place. We did get a penalty.
We got a penalty on your physical leader, Gunnar O'Farrell. Right. And this is your battle for the lead. Bernard has went down. Davenport takes the lead over Oslakson. Dethridge, a gun jumper, along with Burnett. Your 2 legal starters are the red boat and the black boat, Michael, going into turn number 1, and they're going to be side by side at the entrance pin.
Heading over to AJ in our Tire Factory Tower.
Looks like Davenport. Let's see, I'm trying to see. No, Davenport looks like he slipped into second. Oslakson, Scott, first place right now, coming around What is this, turn 3?
No, just turn 1.
Turn
just
1.
a two-turn.
Two-turn, gotcha.
Two-turn course. Coming up the backstretch, Oslauxen with the race lead. Davenport's on the outside of him in the red boat. The yellow boat, again, jumped the gun and will have a 1-minute penalty.
Michael, I didn't mean to step on you. We wanted to get those legal boats for our fans watching and also, too, on the shoreline. But what a development we have here. Jason Oslauxen in front, and Kyle Davenport was there and had trouble in turn number 1 the last time around. We'll come down to get the white flag. Jason Oslauxen looking for a win on the Columbia River in the try.
Yeah, that 77 has been strong all weekend long with 1 lap to go. This is for the title, the championship, and the 2.5 stock. And look at Oslauxen roll down the front stretch. He is the race leader on the inside. O'Farrell's battling, but again, O'Farrell in the yellow boat, a 1-minute penalty. Oslauxen the leader. Davenport is going to be in second place, and Davenport looks like he dives inside, trying to get a shorter line around turn number 1 over to our Tire Factory Tower with AJ.
Oslauxen still in first place. Davenport trying to catch him, the home favorite, trying to get his first win down here on the Columbia Cup. Man, down the backstretch, this is going to be close.
And what a great run also by Dethridge. Les is doing fantastic in that turquoise 8. Up the backstretch, Jason Oslauxen in the 77. Davenport has fallen back 2 rooster tails now. Oslauxen 1 turn and a straightaway to go to claim the checkered flag. Everybody getting by Jeff Bernard safely. That went dead in the water at the end of lap number 1. Across the start-finish line, and the checkered flag is out, and there is your champion on the Columbia River, Jason Oslauxen in the black and orange 77. Kyle Davenport will take second in the 6. Pasco Machine. Third place for Les Dethridge in the 8.
Michael, we had the, let's move the 12 up, the monkey business, in the 3rd position with the 1-minute penalty. And Dethridge will be in 4th with the 225 in the 5th position, which is Burnett, and he's just crossing right now. But wow, Jason Oslauxen, a winner in the Tri-Cities. They'll be happy.
That's an amazing finish. Interesting start sequence, and it was unfortunate that O'Farrell was a little bit over at the start.
Yes, O'Farrell gave it a good try. He was there, but too early. But right now, Michael, Jeff Bernard dead in the water with the flow of the river left to right on the Columbia River. Here in the try, Jeff Bernard dead in the water in the Silver Cloud Inn, and I expect a towboat operator to come to him and take him back to the pit area because he's coming up next in Grand Prix America in the reliable Diamond Tools. So he will exit probably this boat. They'll put it on the hook and then be taken back in via rescue craft and be strapped into the GP79.
It's a long, again, another Thornworks tow rope at the top end of the course all the way back to the Lamson pits. So O'Farrell with the 1-minute penalty still will finish in the top 3?
Yes, because he was still in that physical running order ahead of Dethridge. Dethridge had a gun jump too, and did Burnett as well.
I did not know that.
Okay.
So we had 2 boats that were too early.
3.
A total of 3 boats that were too early.
When you get a bunch of these little ones out there, it can get confusing for sure.
Well, O'Farrell, really, you could see that's exactly what Gunner wanted to do. Be on the outside with boat speed and try to get the overlap and claim the inside lane. So we've got reaction down in the pits, and again, congratulations to the 77, Jason Oslauxen. Tana Morissette here describing some of the situation from the officials on the barge to find out the order of finish. So we'll get that to you here in just a moment. Special thanks on our broadcast again to All City Transmission, serving Tri-Cities with the best auto repair and transmission care at affordable prices. Visit online, allcitytrans.com.
Can we call him the Wizard of Oslauxen?
That is great, AJ.
Wow.
That was not my first thought when I heard it, but okay.
I was just thinking when we were coming back up. No, you gals are fine. You don't have to get up and move. I'm an old guy, but I only need 1 chair. Who have I got here? Oh, I've got the Miss Tri-Cities folks here. We're going to be busy on the tower for the next hour, guys.
And Michael, it gets more confusing thanks to Tana Morissette, our engineer. Your winner, Jason Oslachson, according to JR, in turn 2, the Wizard. AJ, I'm sorry, the Wizard of Oslachson. And then second place was Kyle Davenport. Third place now is Justin Burnett in the 225. They looked at the videotape very close and went back and reversed his gun jump. Gunnar O'Farrell got a 1-minute penalty, will finish fourth in monkey business, and Les Dethridge, a 1-minute penalty for a gun jump, will get the fifth spot in the Crazy Eights. And Jeff Bernard, an unfortunate, did not finish in the Silver Cloud Inn.
Yeah, he's getting that Thornworks construction tow rope ride back to the pits. That's unfortunate. Jason Oslachson, well done in the 77, and I believe our pit reporters are getting close to him down on the dock, but taking the championship here on the Columbia River. You know, he didn't win this weekend until it mattered the most, the championship.
And he has run well all weekend. He led in that one heat, Michael, and went dead in the water, went inside the infield, and but boy, they'll be happy. Jason Oslachson is a wonderful pilot, and Brad Luce, Craig, you got him?
Yeah, we've got him, the Wizard of Oslachson, and Jason says he can live with it.
Oh, yeah. I mean, everybody always called me Ozzy my whole life, going through school and all that. It's a hell of a lot easier than my last name, so no, I'll take it.
Yeah, and here you've been schooling people on how to say it, and little did you know you were going to come up with a victory, and here you are, a chap today.
Yeah, it feels awesome. Yeah, I've been trying to get a hold of K-Dub to text all you guys, and but Brad was the one I talked to this morning about saying it right. You know, he's the first one I got plumbed up on it. So, but as far as the race goes, Scott Myers came out and worked on this motor this morning. He's our motor guy. He gave us at least another 4 or 5 miles an hour. The boat is screaming through the corners, you know, and I was in rough water. And to catch those boats back there, I wish Jeff could have hung in it, see if I could track him down. That'd be the ultimate prize. He's a hell of a driver. They've got an extremely fast boat, so I can't wait till we go head-to-head again here in like 2 or 3 weeks in Pateras. But, yeah, we're happy. Our guys are happy, so.
Well, this is what culminates everything. This is why you come to race.
Yeah.
Whoa.
Thank you.
Yeah, this is exactly why you come to race.
Oh, yeah, especially here. I love the mile and 2/3. It's huge, so a lot of speed, great corners, you know, big corners to tear it up through, you know. I was surprised that I got the monkey business, to be honest with you. I figured I'd track Kyle down because he wasn't too far ahead of me, but the Gunner was way up there, you know. And it looked like he was flying the boat, too, and he wasn't going to give an inch at all, you know. So it was, but it was good, clean racing. You know, it was hard racing. So.
Yeah, and it's really been, and when you talk about the good racing, I mean, it's been different every heat. All of you have had an opportunity.
Yeah, it's great. I like the. I mean, Jeff, hands down, still dominates the class. You know, but we're trying to even it up. You know, and it's when there's more parity in the class, everybody's running fast. When we go out, you don't necessarily who's going to win. It makes it a lot better for all of us. You know. But, yeah, we still got, you know, some work to do to get as fast as the one, especially I know as a driver I do, that's for sure. But I don't know, I can tell you this, we're definitely going to enjoy this one, you know. We're so happy, you know. We'd like to thank, number one, Scott Myers for helping us out up there this morning. He made all the difference, you know. If he wasn't here to help us, we wouldn't have won. Then Olympic Moving and Storage, paying for most everything we did this weekend. So they're a great new title sponsor for us, and hopefully they'll be on with us for, I don't know, the foreseeable future. And I hope the 2.5 class put on a good enough show, so we're invited back next year.
It was a fabulous show. It was fabulous.
Yeah, I thought so too. I think yesterday we had a few too many boats break down, but other than that, I thought it was great competition, great racing, you know, exciting stuff. So sorry my voice has been bad all weekend, but yeah, we're going to go enjoy it.
You'll gladly trade your voice for the driving.
Oh, yeah, any day. I'm going to go give that guy a big hug right there, Scott Myers.
Hey, you savor it. Thanks a lot for the time, Jason.
Yeah, thank you.
That's Craig West, our American Radiator pit reporter in the Neil F. Lamson pits. Jason Oslachson takes the trophy in the 2.5 liters. And a special thanks to the International Brotherhood of Electrical Workers Local 112 and National Electrical Contractors Association for the 2.5 stock class of boats. They put on some pretty good racing this weekend.
Boy, they sure did, Michael, and great job by Jason Oslachson and that team. And Kyle Davenport, I know he'll be disappointed, but will take that second place. And I want to commend the safety and rescue and towboat operators here at the Columbia Cup. That S1 was dead in the water up here in turn number 2 on the small course, and they're rapidly approaching the pit area, and I know the current is in their favor going that way. But Michael, this event has run so well, and it takes everybody from letter A to Z to make it happen. And race director Aaron Stevens does a great job. Mike Dinslow, I know I'm leaving out numerous names, but what a great event here in the Columbia River in southeast Washington State.
Water Follies event director Mark Williams, first year. It's been a great Water Follies weekend.
And the weather has cooperated with us this weekend. We were a little worried about the wind this morning, but boy, it is picture perfect right now for the Grand Prix America Championship heat coming up. And of course, the big one, the Columbia Cup for the H1 unlimited hydroplanes.
But again, congratulations, Jason Oslachson in the 77 taking the checkered flag in the 2.5 liter final. We will take a timeout. More of our coverage is coming up. Special thanks to Sun Pacific Energy and their Shell Sun Market stores. Sun Market is your place to stop with fast, friendly service. Fill your gas tank. Help yourself to the many tasty treats. Grab and go. You find them in Burbank, Kennewick, and I-82 in Clearwater, and 27th in Olympia, Kingsgate in Richland, and Keene Road in West Richland. Your Shell Sun Market stores. All Doors Incorporated since 1984 with Derwin Dozier, that is. Automatic entry system specialist. Repair, service, installation. Trusted by hospitals, supermarkets, hotels. All Doors Incorporated. 509-547-2158. And
Gentlemen,
thanks.
I have Kyle Davenport with me. And Kyle, this is your Yankee Stadium here. You didn't get to win the home run derby today, but I think everybody won. I think the 2.5 was tremendous. Hopefully they're going to have you back.
Well, I hope they have us back too, because I sure had a lot of fun out here, and I know everybody else did. And, a big course like this in front of a big crowd, and it's just super fun. And disappointed I couldn't eke out the win in the final. But if I'm going to get beat by somebody, I used to crew for Jason Oslachson my first year. I'm going to get beat by somebody. I'd rather be him. So. And then Gunnar, he put on a heck of a race, man. I was back and forth behind him the whole time. Ate his rooster tail a few times just trying to get around him, and nothing dirty, just trying to get around him, and was able to nip him on the final straightaway. And so it feels good at least to get that little victory at the end. So, but yeah, it's been just an awesome weekend.
You APBA drivers, it amazes me the camaraderie that all you have, and you jump in and help each other if they have a problem.
I've done a little bit of other forms of racing. There's always some sort of camaraderie, and that's the thing I always bring up with the hydroplane drivers it's unlike any other sport. I mean, we make sure each other's in the water, everything we can do. 2 nights ago, we helped another boat with a motor swap, and I know other guys were helping with other motor swaps, and I had guys down here helping me with my skid fin today, making some last-minute adjustments, and people from opposing crews. And heck, yesterday I sent my carburetor guy over to Monkey Business and gave him some parts, and then they went out and beat me. So it's the way it is.
All right, we'll see you in a couple of months when I'm over for hockey in Wenatchee. So hopefully we'll see you at one of the games.
I'd love to see you. All right, Craig. Thank you very much.
Thanks a lot.
All right, bye-bye.
Craig West, American Radiator pit reporter, and thanks to our friends at AMRAD. We'll take a timeout. More of our coverage of the Columbia Cup is coming up on 610 KONA and 610KONA.com. Welcome back to the Clover Island Inn Crow's Nest broadcast suite here on the Rutzman's Barge at the Mosteller Memorial Start-Finish Line. Michael McDonald, Jeff Ayler, and it is time for the Thunder Cup, the Grand Prix America Series Championship Heat. And there's so much on the line, Jeff Ayler. Not just the points here, not just the trophy here, but some national consequences too.
Exactly, Michael McDonald. We have a tight national high points race in Grand Prix America coming up to the final heat of the year in 2023 for GPA. On top currently in national points, Jeff Bernard and Reliable Diamond Tool with 1,135 points. In second spot, in Stettner Construction Group, Greg Hopp, 10 points back with 1,125 points. Coming up in the final heat, Greg Hopp will be in lane number 1.
Ooh.
Jeff Bernard, lane number 2. Jimmy Malden, lane number 3. Austin Eckert, your defending champion, lane number 4. Dustin Eccles in lane number 5. Bernard can finish behind Hopp, but you don't want to be difference of 2 finishing orders because the points in GPA, 100 for first, 95 for second, 90 for third, 85 for fourth, 80 for fifth. Bernard needs to stay close to Hopp. He wants to win the Thunder Cup here at the Tri. Greg Hopp is hoping to spoil the party, not only to take the Thunder Cup, but maybe get a little luck from behind with Bernard finishing third place or worse.
6:25 on the clock to the start of the Thunder Cup, the final for the Plumbers and Steamfitters, Local 598, Signatory Contractors, Thunder Cup final for the Grand Prix America Series. Now let's go back to the 2.5 liters because we've got a little cleanup to do as another situation developed during the break. And we have a new winner for the championship heat of 2.5 stock.
Unfortunately for Jason Oslachson, when we told you earlier before the break he was the winner, word come down from upstairs. Oslachson was issued a 1-minute penalty on a lane encroachment in turn number 1 on lap number 1 of the final heat on Justin Burnett in the 2.25. Your 2.5 stock winner in Tri-Cities, Washington for the Columbia Cup is Kyle Davenport. Justin Burnett will finish second. Jason Oslachson was third. Fourth went to Gunnar O'Farrell, and fifth to Les Dethridge. Your winner in 2.5 stock again, Kyle Davenport. He wanted to run here on the Columbia River. A native of here, he got his wish, and he will take away the trophy in first place.
It's pretty amazing. He grew up watching the races because his dad was one of the rescue divers.
What a cool story.
From 1966 to 1979, he was the lead safety rescue diver here at the Columbia Cup, Larry Davenport.
That's amazing.
Great stuff.
So Kyle Davenport will accept the trophy on the stage. And if you haven't been to the closing ceremonies, it's a great time over there. Everybody gets honored that had a podium finish, and there's just a lot of fun and camaraderie. And that's what the sport's all about. And our family reunion, Jeff Ayler, is about ready to come to a close. We've got 2 more races. And here we go with the GP America Plumbers and Steamfitters, Local 598, final heat.
Should be a good one. Jeff Bernard out first in the dominant orange checkered flag effect. Reliable Diamond Tool. Jeff resides in Kent, Washington. Jeff will start in lane number 2. The next boat out, the white, blue, and orange. That is the Trust Company presents Miss Renee Dustin Eccles pilots from Monroe, Washington. The Trust Company, of course, a local business in the Tri. 300 people on site in their hospitality area.
Wow.
Next boat out is the defending champion here at the Columbia Cup. It is the GP12 Ice Harbor Brewery presents Rapid Rabbit. Austin Eckert, the pilot out of Burien, Washington. Austin will be in lane number 4 for the final heat. Next boat out is the radically designed Steinecker Hull, driven by Jimmy Malden out of the San Juan Islands of Washington State. Jimmy Malden driving the Hammock Construction. Jimmy will start in lane number 3. We're waiting for Old Reliable, and Old Reliable just fired up just past the Blue Bridge. It is Greg Hopp out of Lake Stevens, Washington, driving the Stettner Construction Group. Greg Hopp will be in lane number 1. We're 3 minutes and 5 seconds until the start for the Thunder Cup.
So Jeff Bernard needs to finish first or second.
Correct.
To get the national points.
Exactly, and any finish of Greg Hopp behind Jeff Bernard, it could go many different sequences down the line, but on paper, Michael, handicapping them,
for
Bernard and Hopp are the favorites.
Yeah, for Hopp, he needs to win and have Bernard third or worse.
But you can't count Egret out in lane number 4 with a lot of boat speed. If he gets a good start and gets to turn number 1 with a lot of momentum, Egret could spoil the party for Bernard and Hopp in lanes 1 and 2.
Coverage of the Grand Prix America boats on News Radio 610 KONA and 610KONA.com. Thanks to our friends at Coleman Oil, celebrating 70 years.
And Jeff Bernard flew the reliable Diamond Tool by the start-finish line buoy. Jeff is your 2-time defending National High Point champion in Grand Prix America. We are coming up on the 2-minute mark for the Thunder Cup Championship heat here at the Columbia Cup. 2 minutes has come and gone. Brad Luce here in turn number 1. Big moment right now for Jeff Bernard, looking for a triple in National High Point Championships for owner Mike Grindell.
He certainly is, and I think this is going to be very interesting. You guys just talked about some of the scenarios. I'm going to be watching Greg Hopp and Jeff Bernard, and who gets to the entrance pin and can turn first. If Greg Hopp can get down here first and get a boat length or two and get a fender, as they like to say, on Jeff Bernard, we could have an interesting finish here, but it's going to be a lot of fun. I also love the way you threw in a couple of comments there about Awesome Austin, because Egret, when that boat wants to answer the bell, can run with any of them here.
And if it's running well, that craft owned by Bob Shellhays could be a player in here, but right now we're coming up on the 1-minute period. We are now 3, 2, 1 mark. 1-minute period is come and gone for the Thunder Cup Grand Prix America Championship here at the Columbia Cup. Brad, it's assigned lanes. Each driver has to hold their lane through turn number 1 at the start, and then the overlap rule takes into effect off the exit pin of turn number 1. You need a full rooster tail to move either in or out to put your competitors behind you with a disadvantage with rough water. Brad, we're coming up on the 30-second mark. We're about to light up the Tri-Cities on the Columbia River.
About to get really, really loud and proud. Look at Hopp, look at Bernard up the backstretch. They are side by side with 20 seconds. Start our Thunder Cup, Jeff Haler.
Thank you, Brad Luce. 15 seconds away. Egret leads them up, followed by Hopp and Bernard. Eccles and Jimmy Malden well off sequence just off turn number 1. It's the Thunder Cup Championship at the Columbia Cup. We're 2-1 mark, and it appears to be a clean start, and Brad Austin Egret got that start in lane number 4.
And inside of him is Bernard, back a little bit. In lane number 1 is Hopp. Egret's going to get down here pretty much dead even with Jeff Bernard there at the apex, but with lane position is Greg Hopp.
The start was legal. Good start by all drivers in the Thunder Cup Championship. Jeff Bernard, your leader in reliable Diamond Tool, but he's got company on the outside with Austin Egret, and Ice Harbor Brewery presents Rapid Rabbit. Bernard entering turn number 1, making a 3-boat length advantage. Greg Hopp back in third in Stettner Construction Group. The top 3 in turn number 2, working lap number 1 in the Thunder Cup. And Bernard tightens it up, went to the pins, put Hopp in rough water. 1 complete and 2 to go. Jeff Bernard making a rooster tail lead over Austin Egret. Brad Bernard looking for 3 consecutive National High Point Championships.
Yeah, and he's looking real strong coming down here. Like you said, he's got almost a rooster tail on Egret, and he's just got to find clean water now and keep that boat out of trouble. Right now, he's got the field covered halfway through.
Bernard, your leader off turn number 1, make it a tail and a half advantage over Austin Egret in second. Then Hopp has fell back even in third. 4th place, Dustin Eccles. Jimmy Malden returned to the pit dock in the Hammock Construction. Your top 2 in turn number 2. Working lap number 2 on the 1 2/3 course on the Columbia River. Jeff Bernard, your leader. White flag displayed. He's your leader in the Thunder Cup. Austin Egret gave it a valiant effort, but dropping back. Brad, all Bernard has to do is keep it together.
Got to keep it together, negotiate a corner that is wide open for him down here. He is past the entrance pin. He's at the apex. Ingrid has given it a valiant effort, but he's given ground. Bring Jeff Bernard home.
Jeff Bernard, your 2021 Columbia Cup champion in Grand Prix America. 1/2 a lap to go. In reliable Diamond Tool Bad Influence. The crew chief, Mike Weber, the uncle of the driver, the owner, Mike Grindell, the sponsors, Jonathan and Charlotte Thompson. Final turn, final lap for Jeff Bernard. Checkered flag waves. Here's your winner of the Thunder Cup in Tri-Cities, Washington, Jeff Bernard, in reliable Diamond Tool, and a third consecutive National High Point Championship in Grand Prix America. Austin Eckert will finish second in the Ice Harbor Brewery Presents Rapid Rabbit. Greg Hopp will cross in third in the Stetner Construction Group. Dustin Eccles will be fourth in the Trust Company Presents Miss Renee, and an unfortunate did not finish will go to Jimmy Malden. In the Hammock Construction, Brad Luce, Jeff Bernard was on his game in the Thunder Cup final.
Yeah, he certainly was. He's back here now. He's got the lid popped open. He was waving at the fans as he came down the shoreline. Austin Eckert's going to head down to the other dock. Jeff Bernard will be here. Congratulations. Mr. Grindell, talk to me for just a minute. You're talking him in, I assume. Congratulations, Mike.
Thank you very much. I really appreciate it.
I'm sure you're a happy guy.
It's been a long time coming this year. We've had a rough year.
It's been a rough year, but you just kept picking at it, and here it is, 3 in a row.
Yeah, I mean, I really got to give it to my team again. They work nonstop. My engine builder, Roger Mahan, and the crew guys. Mike Weber, he brings the boat prepared. Most of the time, we're ready to go, and Jeff Bernard, of course, wheeling that one heck of a race.
He can drive a race boat. Let's get down there, and you give him a big hug. That is owner Mike Grindell. Somebody you know very well, Jeff Ayler. He's a pretty darn happy guy. He's kind of hoarse, but you can understand why. The guy has been hooting and hollering, and it all came together. And when he talks about it being a difficult year, it was indeed. But they just kept fighting and wouldn't let go.
610 KONA, Kennewick, Richland, Pasco. First place finish, Jeff Bernard in the 79 for the Thunder Cup. Local 598, plumbers, steam fitters, signatory contractors. Great action on the water. Our coverage, thanks to Jeff Ayler. Appreciate it so much. Great job. Coleman Oil, thanks you for being part of our broadcast.
Oh, Michael McDonald, thank you. And never thought I would call one here. Thank you.
Oh, you bet. It was fun. It was great fun and a great final. And Jeff Bernard may have had a tough time out there in the 2.5 liter, but boy, came back to win the Thunder Cup in the GP boats. Great racing out on the Columbia River. We will take a timeout. More of our coverage coming up. And thanks to everybody that makes the broadcast possible, including Sun Pacific Energy and their Shell Sun Market stations, Gulf Universe, along with Firehouse Subs, All Doors Incorporated, Tire Factory, White's Finished Furniture and Hardwoods, Buffalo Brothers, Clover Island Inn, along with Esco Electric, Broadmoor RV, American Radiator, Anderson Dental, Legends Casino, Coleman Oil, Bob's Burgers and Brew, All City Transmission, Griggs, and Thornworks. We'll take a timeout. We still have one race to go and a winner yet to crown for the Columbia Cup Final for 2023. It's coming up on 610 KONA and 610KONA.com.
Shot right here, and it's not disappointing coming away from the dock here. Wow, The three is already gone. Then it's Kelly coming out. Following behind him is Corey Peabody. Then it's Jamie Nielsen. Then it's Jimmy Shane. Then it is Dave Villwalk. You'll never guess who's still sitting at the dock, Michael.
Oh, it'd be Jimmy Shane?
That would be Andrew Tate. He loves to do
I'm
that.
sorry.
That's right. He loves to do it. He's the only one sitting there, hasn't even tried to come out yet. Same thing he used to do when he was driving for Mike and Lori Jones and driving the 9.
This is the first time we've seen 6 boats out on the course, and there's still one more to come.
And he's just sitting at the dock.
Just waiting.
I think he's the guy I'm behind every green light when I'm trying to get home from work.
Well, it was interesting when we were here for the test session. Andrew and I kind of walked up the beach together here, and he was looking over the edge, and he goes, it looks pretty deep out there. He says, maybe I can make that run that I like to do up the shoreline. He's coming away from the dock now. We'll see if he makes a left turn and comes up the dock, or if he just goes straight across, and it's looking more and more like he's just going to come straight across to Kevin. 3 minutes and 40 seconds till our start. All 7 boats are up and on the water, guys.
Jimmy King has cut through the ESCO electric infield, so has Jamie Nielsen as they come to the Payne West Insurance front stretch.
Michael, you asked about the fans. They may be hot, but they've all left the shade to get to the best possible view as Jimmy King cuts again. But they're all up, ready to go. Watch the next 5-lap race as we get ready to wrap up the Columbia Cup.
And again, all swimmers up out of the water onto the shore. Our hydroplanes out on the river for the HAPO Columbia Cup. All swimmers out of the water up on the shore.
Kevin, look at this approach for Andrew Tate. He went straight across, parallel with the bridge, all the way to the other side. He's still not on the race course.
He is still not technically on the race course. The problem is where does he fit into all of this? Because Jamie Nielsen and now J. Michael Kelly have gotten in front of him. Here comes Corey Peabody, but yeah, I mean, finally all 7 boats are on the race course. Dave Villwalk in front of Jimmy Shane too. He'll have to eventually back off and get into that trailer position, but
2:30 to our start.
All right, now we start to pay attention where boats are right now. Jimmy King and the Griggs Ace Hardware will come across the JMC Motorsports start-finish line down the Payne West Insurance front stretch.
And we talked about how pristine the water was down here in Tire Factory Turn 2. That's not the case anymore.
Not anymore.
Dave Villwalk will cut across the ESCO electric infield to the front stretch.
King will cut the back, front to back.
Coming up on 2 minutes, guys, in 2-1 mark. 2 minutes.
Mike Kelly's still out behind you. You can eat time, buddy. Okay, that guy out in front of you that just cut the course with Villwalk, don't worry about him.
Villwalk cuts again. Getting into the trailer boat position, we might be starting to settle down here.
Yeah, J. Michael Kelly would be in lane 2. Andrew Tate is searching for a lane.
No, Andrew's right there. I can't get over in front of him yet.
Then behind is Jimmy Shane in the 1, and I don't know where he will go. Dave Villwalk will be the trailer boat, and he will cut across the infield to the front stretch. And
look who got 1.
And look what they did. What did we talk about? Get Jimmy Shane on the outside. Now he's going at a pace now where he's going to have a whole lot of boat speed.
Yeah, this is going to be good. Watch Jimmy Shane. Kevin, you're going to have the call because he's got 4 boats in front of him.
Yeah, it looks like Peabody's going to give Tate lane 3. So here comes Jimmy Shane. Jimmy King.
1 minute.
Behind. Boy, rough water for Jimmy Shane. That could be the difference, though.
But where's he going to go?
He's got to go outside. There's nowhere for him to go.
He better be careful with the 3 coming up behind him. The 3 could basically pin him.
And the 3 is going to get that lane 6.
Right now, you got Nielsen in 1, J. Mike in 2. Not quite sure where the 12 with Tate is going to end up. And outside.
Is he? It's going to be either inside or outside of Peabody.
Yeah, I don't know if Peabody's going to give him the room or not. And then you've got Shane all the way inside now as they come around the top end of the course. Nielsen in 1, start to pick them up as they come to the exit pin.
10 seconds.
J. Michael in 2. Peabody looks like he's in lane number 3. Then you've got Tate in lane 4. Shane in 5. Jimmy King in lane 6. And the trailer boat Villwalk. It was a really close start. And looking on the inside, the boat speed. Jamie Nielsen with a great run down the Payne West Insurance front stretch. It's a good start.
It is a good start. It's going to
to be J. Michael Kelly. He's going to get down here. First got Peabody with him, and then Tate right there, too. Shane is back about 7 boat lengths, Kevin.
He is really, really battling it down here, all 3 boats, but it is J. Michael Kelly in the lead as they head down the creek's backstretch, but 4 boats, you can throw a blanket over them.
You got a rooster tail and Jimmy on your outside, rooster tail and a half.
For J. Michael Kelly and the Miss Tri-Cities on the Griggs Ace Hardware backstretch to pull out in front as the drivers head up into Shell Sun Market turn number 3. The race leader is Miss Tri-Cities, the 8. Jamie Nielsen on the inside, though, as they come around the exit pin of Buffalo Brothers turn number 4. It's a good run for Nielsen on the inside, and looking on the outside, Peabody may be challenging his teammate. And it's really hard to see Nielsen all the way on the inside. Oh, Nielsen's fallen back a little ways. Boat speed is going to be on the outside with Tate, but it's going to be J. Mike leading into turn number 1, Butch Finnegan.
Yeah, J. Michael Kelly's got about 3/4 of a rooster tail lead on teammate Corey Peabody. Then it is Tate.
Keep after it. Keep after it. Mike Kelly just lost his wing. Keep after it. Just got wet.
So now Tate's going to get by him for 3rd place. It's a 5-lap race, though. We're only on lap 2, but right now it's J. Mike.
J. Michael Kelly up the backstretch with the lead. His teammate Corey Peabody in 2nd place, about a half a rooster tail back. Then a rooster tail behind it is Tate in the Graham Trucking. Another rooster tail back behind Jamie Nielsen and Jimmy Shane. Shane on the outside has not challenged. Will he have something to challenge as we move through the final lap?
A little bit closer to J. Michael. Keep after it. He lost his way. Just keep after it.
Corey Peabody a half a rooster tail back. Can Peabody reel him in? He's going to try down the front stretch. Can he catch him before Butch Finnegan turn number 1? He's going to try.
Man, they are rocking and rolling down here, and I'm telling you, the wing
watch Jimmy Shane on the outside.
The wing and the fairings are folded up on the 8, so there's going to be trouble with Kelly's boat line. Keep an eye on Peabody.
Yeah, he's got one of the fairings has gone off the boat by Corey Peabody with a great turn. He's now half a rooster tail behind, and the 12, Andrew Tate loses power. He is in the water right here in front of me. Jimmy Shane battling Jamie Nielsen for 3rd. David Bilbach has taken 6th place, will now be in 5th place in the boat, the U40.
Well, the race goes up to the Shell Sun Market turn number 3. And the inside boat, J. Michael Kelly, the Miss Tri-Cities in the lead. How close does he hold it to the buoy line? Really close. That was a wonderful turn in Buffalo Brothers turn number 4 onto the Payne West Insurance front stretch. Jimmy Shane now will be able to take away 3rd place coming through rough water at the exit pit of Buffalo Brothers turn number 4, trying to get around Jamie Nielsen. Nielsen on the inside, Shane on the outside for 3rd place. 1st place, it's still J. Michael Kelly into Butch Finnegan turn number 1.
Got half a rooster tail. They got to be careful with that wing sitting down here in lane number 2. But right now it is strong racing running 1-2.
Yeah, he bounced it off the water in Tire Factory turn 2. He can't quite get the speed at Corey Peabody flying behind him.
Oh, let's go. Let's go. Leave him a lane in there. Leave him 1 lane in there.
Did a great job on that turn. And Peabody with the lead by 2 boat lengths. Jimmy Shane has taken over 3rd place. Jamie Nielsen in 4th. Heading up the back stretch. On the inside, J. Michael Kelly will try to pull even with his teammate Corey Peabody. Peabody looked like he went out wide, and he hit some really rough water. The white flag is out for the HAPO Columbia Cup 2021. Race leader remains Corey Peabody. Can he hold off his teammate? He's pulling away down the front stretch from J. Michael Kelly. Jimmy Shane in 3rd, Jamie Nielsen in 4th.
Jimmy King is going off course.
Coming down to the lower part of the race course here. The white flag is hung. This is it. It is Corey Peabody with a rooster tail now on his teammate as he flies them out. Got to get through the rough water. Kevin, bring him around.
Yeah, Corey Peabody does it beautifully, though. And poor J. Michael Kelly. Boy, now the wing is gone, that boat. Now the fairing goes down, so he's riding without either fairing or the wing. So he's just going to try to nurse this home. But Jimmy Shane.
Can Shane catch him?
Can Shane? I think he's got a lot more boat speed, but not a lot of time left.
Coming up the backstretch, Corey Peabody, the race leader. Strong racing, could have a 1-2 finish. Can Jimmy Shane? I don't think Jimmy Shane can challenge the damaged boat of J. Michael Kelly for that 2nd place. Off of the exit pin of Buffalo Brothers turn number 4 onto the Payne West Insurance front stretch. Corey Peabody, Pinnacle Peak Consulting, to the JMC Motorsports start-finish line and a checkered flag for Strong Racing. Miss Tri-Cities will finish second, and Jimmy Shane in the home straight a third-place finish. The battle for fourth out on the course, Jamie Nielsen onto the front stretch, and he will come to start-finish and take fourth place. What a run for the Strong Racing team. And J. Michael Kelly had the lead, but gave it up. Damage to the boat may have cost him an opportunity to get the victory. And it's Corey Peabody who performed so well right out of the box down at Guntersville, Alabama, in the first race of the season with top qualifier and a heat win. And now he gets the championship here. So it did not finish for the 12 and the 3. Tate and thanks to Canyon Lakes Golf Course, and also Brad Luce and Craig West. Great job, you guys, all weekend long. Thank you very much for everything you do down in the pits.
Thanks, Mike, and great job yourself.
Yeah, it's been a lot of fun. I'm so glad you invited me to come along, and good to see so many people and talk to them. I've had a great time here, anytime.
So the final heat will have 6 boats, no trailer boat. It will be 5 laps. Let's go around the horn. Brad Luce, who do you have in the final heat for the Columbia Cup? Or is Brad available?
Maybe he's changing batteries. Who knows?
Could be. Could
You never
be.
know. Well, I'll start off. I hate to be stereotypical, but nobody has figured out Corey Peabody.
Oh, no, we've all figured him out. He's fast.
He's fast. And maybe the 91, I'm talking about that new engine. You just never know. It has not gone against a couple of freaking beacons. So to me, it should be a really, really, really good final. But I think number 9, the U9 wins the Columbia Cup for 2023. That's what I like.
And a straight flush of wins.
Amen.
But no Pocket Kings in the final.
That's unfortunate.
Tire Factory turn number 2, AJ.
You know, I got to agree with Kurt. I think the race is either Peabody's or Tate's for sure. It'd be kind of cool to see Tate win it because, you know, Peabody's been beat every single race he's been out there. So to see a full race and see Tate finally take it, that'd be cool. So I'm going to go with Andrew Tate.
I want to jump in, and again, I'm not going to change my pick. I just want to see up AJ's call on the backstretch on the 5th and final lap that we got some deck-to-deck action, and the Columbia Cup final is still to be determined with like a half a lap to go. That's what I'm hoping for.
Tate,
You
Peabody.
guys got me?
Yes, Brad.
There we go. Sorry.
You're good.
Well, we had a little. I guess I had to climb the stairs just one more time. I thought I was done.
That's fun.
But
you got the steps in today.
For who? Yeah, I got my
That's
steps
fun.
in.
So, Brad, what do you think of the final heat?
Wow, you know, I always sit up here and pick some dark horse, and I'm never right. I've been saying all along that until somebody knocks him off, somebody's going to have to solve the Corey Peabody puzzle. But you know what? I'll go with the dark horse and change it up a little bit. I'm going to go Andrew Tate in the 91 and a big surprise. Jeff, what do you think?
I think it's Corey Peabody. He's not lost a race in 2023 while running. Beacon Plumbing's your winner of the Columbia Cup.
There you go. Interesting development down here.
Oh, what's that?
The boat that is pitted the furthest east in the pit area here is the 91, the Goodman Real Estate. It is at the dock furthest to the west. It is moved all the way to the front of the line. It is the closest boat to us. When it's on the trailer, it's the furthest one away. So they slid all the way up the dock. Interesting little thing. As we have seen in the past, we will watch what kind of a path Andrew Tate wants to take out on the race course.
Inside 6 minutes. 5 minutes and 45 seconds now till the start of the Columbia Cup for 2023. Well, who do you pick for the final? It's hard to pick against Corey Peabody, and if you were going to do it, why not pick another beacon? An electric performance for J. Michael Kelly brings the checkered flag home.
Wow.
I get it.
I like it.
I like it.
Shocking? I don't think so.
Shocking. Even. Keep going, man. You were on a roll.
Now the polarity just reversed.
Here goes our countdown to the 5-minute mark, and as everybody has come to know around here, my favorite moment in the Tri-Cities as we come up on 11:10 seconds to the 5. 6 noses have tipped out toward the center of the Columbia River, just awaiting the 5-minute mark in 3 seconds, 2 seconds, 1 mark. 5 minutes. Oh, here we go. Everybody starts to pull away from the dock. Even Andrew Tate is going to come away. Looks like first out's going to be Jamie Nielsen, but once again, J. Michael Kelly in the U8 is going to pop up in the Beacon Electric. He's bringing Dylan Runny with him on his left. He's bringing Corey Peabody in the Beacon Plumbing on the right. The Goodman Real Estate is away. AJ, how about that?
All 5 boats. Nielsen coming up first. Then, of course, we got the Beacon Plumbing. We got the Beacon Electric. Andrew Tate bringing up the rear, and in between the U1 and Dylan Runny. This is going to be a great race.
We're still watching the flavor pack down here. He stayed at the dock. He didn't seem to want to even try. He has now come up on a plane away from the dock. So all 6 boats are up and running for the 2023 Columbia Cup. It's the final heat. It is a winner take all. Forget points, forget all that stuff. Winner take all. Going to get a little crowded up at your end, Michael.
J. Michael Kelly, along with Andrew Tate, Dylan Runny, all cut across the ESCO Electric infield. Meanwhile, Peabody and Nielsen come down the front stretch into traffic.
Yeah, they're all coming down the front straightaway here, with the exception of the U40, the flavor pack. We'll watch the boats as they come down here, pick them out of the sun. J. Michael Kelly is sitting in one. Where is Dylan Runny going to put it? He is just outside of Andrew Tate, but it's a small hole between Tate and Corey Peabody. Keep an eye on it. Looks like now he's got room, AJ, in the blue boat in lane 3.
Yeah, it looks like he managed to squeeze himself in there. It's hard to say, but man, looks like we got John Michael Kelly in lane 1, and then it does look like Andrew Tate squeezed in and managed to grab lane number 2. Outside in lane 4 looks like Dylan Runny in the number 1, and then Nielsen coming in lane 5 right now up the back.
Just inside 3 minutes. There's still a lot of milling in this period.
Oh, this is where it starts to get fun.
Anybody coming across the ESCO Electric infield? No.
Not this time. So they're going to make a full lap, huh?
Do you feel that the field, Brad Luce, is going to let J. Michael Kelly hold on to lane number 1?
Well, with where they are right now, and again, my unofficial timing mark, you don't want to cross start finish line before 2 minutes, so they're going to be in pretty good position to be behind that. I look for those boats to stay where they are and come all the way down and around. The one to watch, the wild card, is the flavor pack, and Dustin Eccles, who just came out of turn 2 and is halfway up the back chute.
At what point can you duck in and try to snake a position?
You've got to have room, right?
Yep, you've
2
got to
minutes.
have room.
2 minutes.
Okay.
Tell me
right now, there's no room at the end.
No, there's not. These guys are going to be early. It's going to be early. 1:54.
J. Michael Kelly in 1, Andrew Tate in 2, Dylan Runny in 3.
They are going fast down the front stretch.
Oh, my goodness. They're going to... Oh, boy.
Way
They're
early.
going to be early. J. Michael Kelly is crossing the entrance pin at 1:36. Oh.
The flavor pack and Jamie Nielsen may be in really good shape.
Yeah, Jamie Nielsen and Dustin Eccles may be sitting in the best spot. And the reason we're saying that, for our new fans that are watching, you cannot drop below 80 miles per hour. If you do, it is a disqualification. Watch those boats up the backstretch coming up on 1:10 right now.
So maybe J. Michael Kelly did the proper math. He got into his parked spot, and he's like, the math in the head makes sense.
He's going really slow.
Well, as long as he's going 80 miles an hour, that's all he needs to do. And sorry, you can't cut in front of me. We'll see if it pays off at the start-finish line. He's nailed his start-finishes, a lot of the heats and stuff. So this is not a surprise to me.
He'll be going very slow.
Yeah, I think that whole group is going to be going slow. You want to be at that entrance pin at 20. It's 38 right now. Look at these 2 boats that are trailing the field. They're going to be able to bring the boat speed to the start-finish line.
J. Michael Kelly in lane number 1, Andrew Tate lane number 2, Runny in 3, Peabody in 4.
He's going to be early.
They're really early with 20 seconds. They're going to have to drop below 80. We're at 15 seconds, and the race could be over before it starts.
Wow.
J. Michael Kelly, no choice. He had to go across with 8 seconds on the clock. There's still 5 seconds on the clock as Runny goes across. Tate's early. Beacon Plumbing's early. Nielsen on the outside with a clean start and boat speed. On the inside of him is Dustin Eccles in the flavor pack.
Well, we know we've got at least 2 or 3 of them across the line, so maybe it is Jamie Nielsen on the outside. Maybe it is Andrew Tate. The start is under review. We will call them as they are on the water.
Yeah, right now it's J. Michael Kelly out in front in the bright red Beacon Electric. Oh, my goodness.
I think you got 3 boats that jumped the gun, so this is going to be – good thing it's 5 laps. We're going to need a while to figure this out, who's in and who's not.
In turn 2, Eccles was just having some problems coming through.
So Jamie Nielsen on the outside is in pretty good shape. We're going to get the word here from Tana Morissette in just a minute about our jumping the gun situation and how many may have been early. Heading across the start-finish line, completion of lap number 1 of 5, J. Michael Kelly, the leader on the course.
3 have jumped the gun, the 8, the 1, the 91, all 1 minute plus.
Ooh. So that leaves Peabody's clean. So Peabody is the race leader out on the course and was clean.
Here comes Peabody. He's down just on the outside of Andrew Tate. He is officially your leader because Tate has jumped the start. Second place is the boat running physically 4th on the water. That is Jamie Nielsen in the Legend Yacht Transport.
So the white boat with the blue lettering, that's the Beacon Plumbing 9 with Corey Peabody on the Griggs backstretch, is in first place. Second place boat is Chartreuse, blue and red highlights. That's Jamie Nielsen, Legend Yacht Transport Trust Company, heading up the backstretch. Your third place boat just out of Tire Factory turn number 2 right now, the Flavor Pack 40 with Dustin Eccles.
So just enjoy the ride as long as there's not a major malfunction. The Peabody winning streak will continue. I mean, I know there's still a lot of racing to go, but the way it's set up, this is just kind of a walk in the park, Kazansky.
Completion of lap number 2. Peabody will pull away from Tate at the Mosteller Memorial start-finish line and head to All Doors Incorporated turn number 1. Peabody is our race leader in the 9.
Yeah, and Andrew Tate's going to get by him here on the inside. But if we know that everybody's jumped the gun, so does Corey Peabody. But he's keeping his foot in the U9, the Beacon Plumbing. Those boats are tied together. Here's your official second place boat right now at the entrance pin of the lower corner. It's Jamie Nielsen.
Jamie Nielsen moving wide around Tire Factory turn number 2. Coming in third place, the U1. Dunny running up behind, and then of course the Flavor Pack in 4th, coming around turn 2 right now.
So back to J. Michael Kelly, who's leading out on the course, but again suffering the early start penalty as we complete lap number 3. Corey Peabody is the first boat not to jump the gun that's crossing start-finish line now with the race lead as we head into lap number 4 down the front stretch, All Doors Incorporated turn number 1.
Yeah, Corey Peabody comes down here in the white U9 of Beacon Plumbing. He's just looking for clean water right now, and he finds it outside the run made by J. Michael Kelly, AJ.
Tate on the inside, and their leader and champion of the Columbia Cup coming down the backstretch right now, Corey Peabody. Nobody has managed to solve this guy. Looks like he's running for another championship.
What a great run.
Well, to solve a piece of the Peabody puzzle is you can't jump the start.
Yeah, that was
give
unfortunate.
Yourself an extra, I mean, 1, 2, 3. And you know, especially with J. Michael Kelly, that's unfortunate. I mean, he was off by 20 seconds. He was like 20 seconds early.
Jamie Nielsen goes dead in the water at the exit pin of turn number 2, Tire Factory turn 2.
Nielsen is dead. The Flavor Pack going by him on the inside.
Flavor Pack, Dustin Eccles now in second place.
Wow.
Final lap. White flag is out for Corey Peabody. Peabody down the front stretch into All Doors, turn number 1.
Down here to the lower corner, there are 2 boats that are out front, or at least appear to be out front. Corey Peabody and Andrew Tate are still tied together, but Tate is a lap down. Bring our leader through the corner and up the backstretch, AJ.
There he goes, Corey Peabody. Gonna be, as long as, you know, he gets through the last lap, your champion for the 2023 Columbia Cup. Corey Peabody heading down the backstretch into home, right across start-finish line.
Up into White's Finished Furniture and Hardwoods, turn number 3. Peabody, the race leader, on the outside. To the apex, to Buffalo Brothers, turn number 4. Peabody onto the front stretch. Tate still battling. He's not just going to let him go. Oh, there he comes to take the checkered flag. And it is out for Corey Peabody, and a perfect weekend for the 9 Beacon Plumbing, from qualifying to the checkered flag in the final heat.
Ah, the freaking Beacon Plumbing, that is.
Second place, Flavor Pack. Jamie Nilsson still without power over there in the Legend Yacht, and that's so Legend Yacht Transport Trust Company. So unfortunate for that team because he was doing so well and had second place.
Now
but Dustin Eccles will claim that.
Let's keep our focus on this because there's still plenty of points out there. Have we kind of shaken out now the boats that have to run the extra lap? There's still some points out there, so we got to keep an eye on that.
No doubt. Heading to Seattle, you want to get every point in the bucket you can take.
Yeah, speaking of the bucket, I'm on my way down to the pit area, but I think Flavor Pack, the U40, and Dustin Eccles is your second place boat, have the positions not changed yet. And then I think J. Michael Kelly, who just bit the bullet and took off, may be in third.
He just crossed the line. He just crossed the finish line.
Yep, we'll get more information from upstairs from the officials. Brad Luce and also Tana Morissette getting us the latest details from upstairs. Again, unfortunately, the home street, Goodman Real Estate, a little bit early, along with the Beacon Electric with J. Michael Kelly.
Well, you know, it sets up a heck of a seafair to wrap up the season. I mean, at least we did have a full final. Unfortunately, 3 of the boats basically disqualified themselves at the start-finish. So I guess technically, yeah, you had a final. But still, that's unfortunate. It really is.
So, Brad, I don't know. Do you still have your ears on?
Yeah, I got it.
All the boats heading back to the pits.
Yeah, I'm going down to find Corey.
Most excellent. And still, Jamie Nilsson waits for the Thornworks Construction tow rope to get towed back in.
Corey has made it back. He's on the dock. Corey, I'm coming, buddy. I'm coming. He turned around and looked. I'm the old man. He's got to wait for me.
He's like Fred Sanford. I'm coming, man.
Stay cool with American Radiator. Pit reporter Brad Luce.
Come on now.
Going to be breathing a little rough in this one, in this little discussion. Corey Peabody being congratulated by crew members of teams here. You got to catch your breath. I'm going to catch mine so we can take a 5-second break here. If you're going to win the...
This is us a couple years ago, remember?
Yeah, that's exactly right. You went swimming.
Yeah.
If you're going to do this and keep winning here in the Tri-Cities, you're going to have to do a couple donuts on
Yeah.
Corey, you got your first win here, as we were just saying a couple of years ago.
Yeah.
You love this course. That's got to be a special one. You've done it again.
Absolutely love this course. Hold on.
Go ahead. Jeff Bernard.
Good friend, great racer.
So, you were talking about how special it is to win here in the Tri-Cities. Not home waters, but darn close.
You know what? It's Daryl and Vanessa's home, so it's our home. What a heck of a run. You know, I know there's a lot of penalties. You know, and so let's sort this out. You know, I don't want to celebrate too early, but, you know, let's sort this out. And but as of right now, on the water, looks like we got it. And I'm excited, but we'll see what happens. You know, anything can happen here in the next few minutes.
And if that's the way it goes, you get through tech inspection clean and everything's fine. It's what we call a perfect weekend. Here's your other teammate here. J. Michael Kelly comes over to congratulate him. Unfortunately for your buddy Mike, he got up there a little early and had nothing to do. He just bit the bullet and took off and jumped by about 7 or 8 seconds. But it would be a perfect weekend for you. Top qualifier, you won everything we put in front of you. This boat and this team and what Jeff Campbell and the crew did rebuilding this thing from last year, I can't get enough of it. It's amazing what they created.
They made something special, that's for sure. You know, it was special before, but, you know, who knew that an accident could give us something so much better? But, I mean, that beginning of that race when we watched the 2 Madison boats come up, come up on us. You know, we knew we had to do something special on there, but went out, hauled butt down, and try to make the best of it. But let's see what happens here in the next few minutes. You know, I don't want to count my blessings too early, but dang, what a heat, you know, what a great run.
It was a lot to sort out, but regardless of this heat, and we'll get it all sorted out, great competition all weekend. Somebody might look at this from a distance and go, yeah, but nobody touched Peabody. He beat everybody. Yeah, he worked his tail off to get it done.
We've been working our tail off for, 9, 10, 11 months on this. So well, actually a year, So it didn't come easy. It was 6-7 days a week, 10 hours a day in the shop to get it where it was. I'll tell you, Jeff Campbell was literally in the shop from 5 a.m. to 4:30, 6 days a week. And that's a special guy. I'm super happy to have him on my side. So thank you, Jeff Campbell. Thank you, all my crew, everyone, Beacon Plumbing, Beacon Electric, Bill Cahill. If we get this win, that one was for you. I know you wanted these Washington races, so I hope we get it and we'll celebrate. I think he's down there in our hospitality, so I hope I get to go down and see him and, say thank you. I mean, 2 boats, 2 fast boats. Thank you, Bill Cahill.
2 fast boats, 2 mighty good drivers. A great show. You won it on the water. Yeah. I know we got to go through tech, and you're saying all the right things here. Hopefully we can come up and chat in a few minutes. Andrew Tate, congratulating you. Hopefully we can come up in a few minutes and say you're good to go, it's clean. But on the water, he is the 2023 Columbia Cup champion. It's got a good ring to it.
It does. I'm going to go stress out for a few minutes until we pass tech, so that's what we're going to do.
And thanks for waiting for me.
Oh, yeah. You didn't get me last time. You got my teammate. Man, snubbed me. That's all right. But thanks, guys. Thanks, everybody, for coming out and watching us. Thanks for supporting Water Follies and everything. What a great race, great event. All the volunteers, all the people, all you blue shirt people. So happy to have you a part of this sport, and we can't wait to continue to do this sport and do the things that we love. So thank you.
We'll do it again next weekend. You the man.
All right, man. Thanks, guys.
Corey Peabody.
The flavor pack.
There you go.
Sponsor right there.
There we go.
Wow. Great interview.
How about? Sorry, Gio. I'm a little out of gas here. I knew I had to hurry down here, and was really glad that Corey kind of hung around here and waited for me. I said out loud, I said, I'm coming, Corey, and he turned around. He heard me, and he saw me walking down here. And if this holds, and he's saying all the right things, but if this holds, and if he can get through tech inspection on an 80-mile-an-hour check, an N2 check, a fuel flow check, if he can get through all of that.
Brad?
Yes?
There's also reviews of the start that will be gone over frame by frame, because teams that had penalties assessed because of being early wanted a closer look.
Absolutely. And that's why you saw Andrew Tate running so hard, and that's why you saw Corey Peabody running so hard, because they know they've been told that so-and-so and such maybe jumped the gun, but they also know people are going to go back and look at that stuff, to your point, frame by frame, and maybe a decision gets changed, and you'd hate to think, well, gosh, if I'd have known that, I'd have run him down. So you stay on it. Things have a way of changing from time to time. We'll wait and see. We'll get the answers. But right now, the winner on the water, Corey Peabody, Beacon Plumbing, U9.
Yes, and second place, again, this is an unofficial flavor pack, Dustin Eccles in the 40. Third place, J. Michael Kelly, Beacon Electric, the 8. Ooh. Andrew Tate in the 91 Goodman Real Estate in 4th. Fifth will go to Miss Home Street, Dylan Runny.
Let me just run in. Walt Otenad, thank you very, very much. I was just told U9 Beacon Plumbing has cleared the tech truck.
Ooh.
So that's huge. That's huge.
That's quick.
That's very quick, and that is something H1 Unlimited has been working on, getting answers to our fans before it's too late on boats clearing the tech truck. Good news, certainly, for the U9, Corey Peabody, and the Beacon Plumbing.
Officially.
Well done. Well done. Well, we are going to are we going to hear from any other drivers? Just want to check before we go to break, because the Broadmoor RV Rooster Tail wrap-up post-game is coming up in just a moment. Anybody else down in the pits to talk to, guys?
There's no other drivers here on the
Just
dock.
want to check to see where Craig was or where Jeff was, if we have anybody else.
Yeah, I don't know where
Because I
Craig
can't
is
see down there, Brad.
Oh, there he is up there. Oh, and he's got the mic that I handed him when it didn't work, and I swiped his that worked.
Okay. So we're good for now?
We are good for right now.
Okay, we're going to take a break.
Okay.
Because we're going to come back and wrap it up with the best way possible. The Rooster Tail wrap-up brought to you by Broadmoor RV. Again, the champion for the Columbia Cup 2023, Corey Peabody in the 9, Beacon Plumbing. Rooster Tail wrap-up is next on 610 KONA, thanks to Broadmoor RV. At the bottom end of the top end of the course too soon. Bottom end of the course too soon. Start finish line too soon. And 3 that jump the gun.
Hey guys.
Brad Luce.
I know we're going to start the Rooster Tail wrap-up show.
We're in it, buddy.
Well, okay, we're in it. Well, I have a new star performer for the Rooster Tail wrap-up show. It's Dustin Eccles. Oh boy, Flavor Pack, new sponsor. After all the work on the boat, it looks like, at least on paper, on the water, you're going to come home with a second place finish. But I think most of all, that boat's all in one piece. How was your weekend? Put a bow on this.
You know, I can't really think of a much better way to end the weekend. Coming from a week and a half ago, this thing was broken in half, and it was orange. And now it's got Flavor Pack on it. We've got all their support behind us, and we come out of here with a podium finish. I mean, I'm blown away. I'm absolutely blown away.
And you do not have to drive home tonight and start thrashing tomorrow morning. You might be able to go home and get some sleep.
Yeah, I think all these guys were just as excited to see that. The boat's in one piece. We have a whole bunch of stuff that we want to work on. We learned a bunch this weekend, and we've got a big, long punch list in the truck to come back to Seattle and go really, really fast next weekend. But right now, we're just going to enjoy this podium finish. I believe it's our team's best finish ever. And, yeah, I'm pretty darn excited.
And you should be excited, and I think the team should be excited. You came a long, long way from that final heat in Madison, Indiana, to right now.
Yeah, we want to come out here and run smart, and we had a similar game plan in Madison, but here, you know, I saw all the head games going on the dock, leaving the dock, and I thought, you know what, guys, let's just hang back. Let's let them play their games, do their thing, and we're going to be smart, run our own race, and, you know, it turned out for us. It worked out. Hard work paid off.
It did indeed. It also doesn't hurt to be legal.
That's exactly it. No, thanks again for all the fans that came out to support us. It was unreal how much support we got for getting this thing put back together to come over here. We have Flavor Pack back on board, and it is so cool to see the excitement around it.
It looks like it is cool. As you and I talked during the test session, you guys are having more fun maybe than anybody else. You got the owners over here. You were just talking about putting them on the second level of the podium. There's only one more up there, and I know you want to get there, but let's enjoy this one.
We are on our way to the top spot. But, yeah, for right now, we're just going to relish in this and just have fun and enjoy the evening.
You should indeed. And thank you for all the time this weekend. I told you you were a good interview. We enjoyed talking to you. Be careful going home. I'll see you next week.
Appreciate it.
All right, Dustin Eccles, driver of the Flavor Pack, the U40. They've got to be happy, guys, with where that boat was 3 weeks ago. And here it is, all in one piece on the trailer. There can't be anything better for that team. They don't have to go home and start rebuilding.
All right, so the 40 has cleared tech, but it looks like we will have a driver's rep and the U1 that wants to have a conversation with officials. So there's still some talking to take place as we look to really crown the champion. Now, this is an interesting sidelight to the Columbia Cup final this year. Winner gets a $10,000 check, Brad. A little bit different this year.
That's not chump change. That's quite. That's
no,
five. That's
$10,000 purse.
That's 5 figures. Okay. Thank you.
Now let's head over to Tire Factory turn number 2, and AJ, take us through your final thoughts of what was a great 2023 Columbia Cup and STCU over the River Air Show, 2.5 liters, thanks to IBEW and also the UA Local 598 Plumbers and Steam Fitters, Thunderboats, the Grand Prix America Series, and of course the H1 Unlimiteds. What a great weekend.
So, you know, for me, what a great weekend of racing. Close races basically every single day to decide who was going to win. To see Strong Racing come out on top, the local team, really, really, really awesome. And then, of course, to see Kyle Davenport get his first win on his home course after all these years. What a cool Columbia Cup weekend.
Let's go back down to the Lamson pits. Jeff Ayler along with Brad Luce and Craig West. Rooster Tail wrap-up, final thoughts?
Jeff, why don't you go first?
Oh, wow, what a great Columbia Cup. And, Michael, thank you, KONA, and had a wonderful time in Tri-Cities, and Lord willing, I hope I can come back next year. It was fun.
It'll depend on how clean your room is when we get into it tomorrow morning after you leave. You make the bed and all that good stuff?
Oh, yeah.
Really? Loose already?
Really loose?
Jeez.
It's tough, and he's smart enough to know it's not me to please, it's the missus.
Yeah. It's the angel.
Thank you, Jeff. As you know, it's always fun to work with you. We have such a good time. Craig West, what did you think?
You know what? Kind of like the old cartoon, Mr. Peabody. I think he had quite the weekend, and he just wouldn't lose. I think right now he's the New York Yankees. I think back when they were on a roll in the 90s, he's the guy to beat right now.
Yeah, until somebody can figure it out and solve him. I guess my 2 cents, and I'm thinking, you know, I'm always the positive guy. And I've been thinking about this actually when I was coming down here to find Corey. And maybe there's on some level with regards, and I'm speaking to the H1 Unlimiteds, it was anticlimactic, the final heat, and I was a little disappointed. Not disappointed in the boats or the teams or anything, but just the way it worked out when the three of them were over the line. You called them over the line. We knew 2 minutes before the start when they crossed start finish line at 2:04, 2:05. We knew they were in trouble. They were early down here, and it took some of the drama out of it that I was really hoping we were going to see. That on maybe the negative side, but on the positive side, we saw some tremendous racing in the preliminary heats throughout the weekend. The H1 Unlimited show right now is extremely, extremely close. There's a lot of parity.
Kurt Cartier. Well, first and foremost, thank you to 610 KLNA. It's just a privilege to join this amazing broadcast team, no question about it. I think I'll join Brad in the deflation as I'm seeing 1, 2, 3 boats cross the start-finish line. I'm like, well,
early.
That's it.
Yeah.
It's like so anticlimactic. I went in on a pair of Pocket Kings. I got beat by a Beacon Flush. Dang it! I knew it.
The plumber got you.
The plumber made me do it. Son of a biscuit. Very happy for.
Eight,
there you go.
The 8 now has
the eight
cleared.
has cleared as well. Okay. I got to echo AJ's thoughts. Kyle Davenport, just the whole story about coming here as a kid
and
his
his
dad and all that. I mean, that's just amazing. And one thing I didn't get a chance to say, but I wanted to make sure I get it on the record. The Bayo, the Wolf lady,
Kristen Beowulf.
Kristen, she
F-35.
She had an influence on my daughter, who is now 20 years old.
Oh.
Like, women can do anything, and they can do it just as good as the dudes. So the F-35A Lightning II, thank you very much to the mighty American military for that. Very happy for AJ's first boat race is calling it there in turn 2, and Jeff getting verklempt.
Well, what about Craig West on the call?
Well, I'm
Great job.
going to get to Westy
Oh,
because
okay.
he's just one of these legendary dudes who is a seamless professional broadcaster. No matter what the task or situation, Westy comes through as a pro. A pleasure to hook up with you on the radio, man. This was not foreseen. Honored to share mics with you, even though we're like, half a mile away.
More like a mile, but that who's counting?
Whatever.
We've only got one mic.
So, interesting, isn't it?
More mics, as in McDonald.
Yeah.
Your thoughts, brother?
Well, we'll take a timeout. We'll get to that briefly. 610 KLNA, Kennewick, Richland, Pasco. More of the Rooster Tail wrap-up brought to you by Broadmoor RV as we continue from our broadcast location in the luxurious Captain Suite. Thanks to Clover Island Inn. We'll be back.
It's good to be the king.
The winner of the 2.5 stock competition from the IBEW. Local 112 and Kyle Davenport in the Pasco Machine 6 gets the checkered flag.
You know, I wanted to mention, Brad and I, as we were walking back up, we have the Unimic that we have going on right now, and he's walked downstairs, but I asked him, how could 3 teams get out of sync like that and miss the timing? And he said, overpaying for the inside lane. That was his reply.
Makes sense.
Yeah.
Makes sense.
That was, and by the way, thanks for those kind words, Kurt. Certainly have missed you around, that's for sure.
Right back at you, Westy. Let's do it again next year if we're, both around.
Yeah, I don't plan on sleeping outside in the next year, so I still plan on staying in my own room.
Well put, sir.
Good deal. Also, the local 598 Plumbers Steamfitters Thunder Cup champion, Jeff Bernard, Reddit Tool, and Bad Influence. And, of course, Columbia Cup final for the H1 Unlimiteds, Corey Peabody with a clean sweep from qualifying straight through to the championship.
Wow.
And a $10,000 payday for the 9 Beacon Plumbing.
You know, guys, do you think that the other drivers just trusted that J. Michael Kelly was going to be on time because he always was? You know, there have been a lot of times throughout the day where
they're looking at a clock.
Where he looked like, he was going to be way early and he hit it right on. And so they just were like, okay, Kelly's going to be fine. We'll just follow him.
See, the problem was they didn't talk to Brad Luce. Brad Luce has been preaching that $130 down at the down where he is in the pits for years. So, you would think by now it would drift through the chain and they would understand that, you're just signing your own jump the gun certificate by being at that point at that time. Come on now. We all got to, come on, people. We've got to be better than that.
Yeah,
All right.
team, Brad just came back up, and I echo what he said off microphone. We'll get him back on here. Each driver, this was a perfect example of this final heat. You have to drive your own race. You can't watch your competitor that closely in the milling period. It cost 3 drivers, and I thought it was going to cost a 4th. That is the champion in Corey Peabody. But everyone needs to drive their own race because next weekend at the APBA Gold Cup, that is a 2-mile course, and things could get really wild and woolly on Lake Washington.
Good point. AJ Brewster, any other thoughts before we wrap up on Tire Factory Tour number 2?
No, just thanks for the opportunity to do this.
Glad to have you here.
It has been great. It's been so much fun, and it's going to take a while for my sunburn to wear off, I think.
That's great.
Lesson learned.
That's great. Jeff Ayler, anything else before we wrap up from the pits? And Craig and Brad?
Oh, thank you, Michael. Had the time of my life. I want to thank Grand Prix America for getting me out here in the Tri, and thanks to Dean Rojas and his team. And great meeting Craig West. Michael, working with you. Great to meet Kurt. AJ, I didn't meet you, maybe next year. And Brad, my friend, you the man.
Jeff and I have a mutual admiration society that you guys are well aware of. He is terrific, but right now the comment that I want to end with is the same one I think I end with every year, and that is what I said earlier today. 610 KONA is absolutely the best at this with their wall-to-wall coverage. Nobody covers it like 610 KONA. You've done it since day one. In 1966, don't stop it. It's a great tradition. This whole event is a great tradition, and it would not work without KONA. Thank you. It is an honor to work with all of you guys.
Here, here. Right back at you, Bradley.
Once again, we wouldn't want to do it without you, Brad. Kurt?
Mike?
Now it's time to thank everybody that made it possible. The sponsors.
I'm ready.
The sponsors,
Lay it on
thank you so much. Sun Pacific Energy, Shell Sun Market Stores, along with Gulf Universe and Firehouse Subs, All Doors Incorporated, Tire Factory, White's Finished Furniture and Hardwoods, Buffalo Brothers, Clover Island Inn, Esco Electric, along with Broadmoor RV, American Radiator, Anderson Dental, Legends Casino, Coleman Oil, Bob's Burgers and Brew, All City Transmission, Griggs, and Griggs Ace Hardware Stores, Thornworks. Tow Rope was busy today. They were out quite a bit.
And like you said, it was always at the top end of the course.
Always. It never fails.
I'm telling you.
Yeah. Just incredible. All City Transmission, Apollo Heating and Air, along with Canyon Lakes Golf Course, Columbia Basin Paper and Supply, Friends at Farmers Exchange, Washington Hardware, downtown Kennewick, along with the Umatilla County Fair. That starts next week. Should be a lot of fun with the Pro City Rodeo.
Oh, yeah.
That's actually the Farm City Rodeo. It's a great performance and great onstage entertainment coming up, too. That all starts next week in Hermiston. By the way, I want to mention one more time, Clover Island Inn Sawyer Brown Band is coming up a week from today. That'll be fun with thunderontheisland.com, where you can find those tickets for that concert. Also, everybody at Town Square Media, this is a great opportunity to say thank you. We celebrate our one-year anniversary of being a part of Town Square, and so many people that made this possible, including Paul Drake. In the office, Amanda and Bob, along with Carrie and Vanessa, Woody, Rick and Patty, Amy Kochel, Kevin O'Rourke, and Lee, we missed you on the board. But Leif Bakken, what a great job back at the studios and part of our Pacific Northwest Ag Network, the PNW Ag Network. H1 friends, Tana and Mike Morissette, that helps us out here, start-finish line, with all of the calls and the liaison between the officials upstairs, keeping everything so that we have the latest information. And we know that the final heat is final in the order of finish. Corey Peabody is your champion for the Columbia Cup. Mark Ratner down in the pits. Craig West, what a great addition to the team this year, along with A.J. Brewster over in Tire Factory turn number 2. Frank Cooper helping us out here, helping out all the way leading up to the races, also with the public address system here in the park. Kurt Cartier, you know, having you here with me on the start-finish line, it's a great part of the team. I really appreciate it.
Mike, it's a privilege. Thank you, sir.
Also, Jeff Ayler and the knowledge and expertise and passion that he brings to the Grand Prix America Series. And, of course, the bestest, Brad Luce.
He is.
Hydro Man.
You know, give yourself some credit. I would like to take this opportunity. I know you are the ringleader. You put this all together, and we could not do this without you at the helm of this broadcast watch. So, again, ladies and gentlemen, you are listening to a true Tri-City Radio legend, a pro in action, day in and day out over these 3 days. Michael McDonald, thank you for what you do for radio in the Tri-Cities.
And you know what? I look forward to the morning show tomorrow at 6.
There you go. He gets a chance to make some poor choices tomorrow morning. He'll be, no sleep, and Jenny's going to be talking to him about, why are you driving in the middle of Clearwater, 3 lanes, and you get a flat tire the Tire Factory has to fix.
Also with Water Follies, Kathy Lamson, Todd Blackman. How about Gary and Josh Bartlett and family?
Oh, boy.
They've been a part of this for a long time.
No doubt.
Really appreciate everything you do. Mark Williams, event director, Shauna in the office, everybody at Water Follies. STCU Over the River Air Show was fantastic. Thanks to Derek Allen and Attack Kid Productions and everybody who made it possible. The patrol boats, the rescue crews, the volunteers, Coast Guard, area sheriffs can do it. You have to be a part of it or it just won't work. Corwin Ford bringing the vintage boats. IBEW 112, the 2.5-liter final winner, Kyle Davenport. Great job in the Pasco Machine 6. Also, the 598 champ in the Grand Prix America, Jeff Bernard, and the 79 Bad Influence, Red Tool. The H1 Unlimited champion for the Columbia Cup, the 9 Beacon Plumbing and Corey Peabody. You timed it right at the finish.
You did.
And you did time it right every time you were out on the course.
Anytime there was a challenge put in front of Corey Peabody this boat race weekend, he not only answered the call, he excelled and set the bar higher. And you got to love that if the future of the sport is in this young man's hands, at least it's so far in 2023 when he's running. Let's hope they can get a full non-jump-the-gun Seafair final when those precious points are finally all put together and we crown a champion next week.
And now, for the H1 Unlimited Series, it's on to one of the most important races. It'll be the final race of the season and the Gold Cup in Seattle. For everybody with the H1 Unlimiteds, the fastest show on water, thank you, because obviously you are the highlight of the whole weekend, and we appreciate it. So, for the broadcast crew,
thank you. Yeah, Tri-Cities.
Cartier, Craig West, along with Jeff Ayler, Brad Luce, and A.J. Brewster, and back at the studios, our producer, Leif Bakken. I'm Michael McDonald. Goodbye from the 2023 Columbia Cup, and we can't wait to bring this family reunion all back to you with complete coverage next year here on 610 KONA. Good night, everybody.